Greetings and welcome to the 1-6 Scale Man proudly presents, you know what time it is, and you know what day it is. This is the Comic Book Talk with Friends Monday edition. You know what that is, man. So if you're here, you know what we do, and how we do it and what we jump into, and we do it to the best of our abilities. Tonight's gonna be a good one from a certain point of view. Obi-Wan references. It's gonna be a good one. Because it's going to be sort of like a slanted, it's like a divided type of situation. So it could be good, it could be bad, but in a reference of what we're going to discuss tonight, we're just going to give you our honest opinions. Now, before we get in, I want y'all to kind of sit with this. Everybody out there in the chat, I want y'all to sit with this for a minute. Two things: expectation, speculation. Two things that can potentially ruin the movie experience. I want y'all to keep that in mind. Expectation, speculation, two things that can ruin the movie experience if you attach yourself too much to it. You know what I mean? If you're not willing to go on with a clean slate, you know, like my bro Vinny, then those two things can ruin the movie experience. And if it doesn't live up to your expectations and it doesn't fulfill your speculations, then you're not going to have a really good experience. People should know by now that Kevin Feige is good at not giving you what you want, but giving you what you need. People don't take that to heart and they don't understand it. That's when we get in this whole realm of speculation. People just want to talk about, okay, well, I think this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to happen. I heard this is going to happen. This is how this is going to be. Without basically sitting back and enjoying it for what it is, you rather speculate. This is what's going to happen. So when you go see the movie and those things don't happen, automatically you're disappointed. Why? Because you set yourself up for it. Your expectations, you set yourself up for it. Another thing is that, and I'm just going to say this off the top, and I don't care whoever this offends, I'm so tired of the woke statement. Just because a female, whether it's a villain or a hero, is powerful and she's strong, that becomes a problem and automatically it's labeled woke. I swear to God, if I hear that one more time, man, like literally, can we move on from it? Why can't a woman be strong? Why can't a story that's written well demonstrate how strong a female is? And if anybody who knows Wanda's story, if you've read Avengers Disassembled, if you've basically read The House of M, even if you go way, way, way back, farther than that, when High Evolutionary basically stole both Wanda and Pietro and modified both of them, it's been a tortured story since birth. He's a powerful being. Literally powerful. What is wrong with that? And how come in the movie, when she demonstrates that, it's bad? Source material is out there, and it's out there for you to read. So, literally, we move on from that. Like, literally, other excuses. Make another excuse. Don't use that. That's terrible. But then again, all opinions are subjective, and they are welcome here. So we'll have a nice discussion. Even if we disagree, it's not a problem. That's what we're supposed to do. We're not always supposed to be yes men and agree on everything. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. So anyway, let's start the show. I got a group of individuals out here, pros. I call them pros. They're pros and my bros. One of them's always butt naked. But besides that, it's good guys. What's going on with y'all, man? What's up with y'all today?
Yo.
What up? Man, if only there was something to talk about tonight.
Oh,
I know. Seriously,
I know, right?
we got to kill some time.
Yeah, we got. This
can't
is
get
a
past
filler
it.
show.
Oh, come in.
Come in.
No, that wasn't for me.
exactly. Mr.
Oh,
Pew Pew, Wonder Woman, female, strong since 1941. Moved on. Exactly, bro.
I love how Mr. Pew Pew's avatar is a stormtrooper pissing. Like he's aiming. I like that.
I like that.
Well played.
So definitely, man. I love that. Jedi pimp, what's going on with you, brother? Besides being a pimp and a Jedi, are you separating the pimp from the Jedi? Or are you just like a Jedi who's a pimp? How does that work? How can you be a Jedi and a pimp? Because you have to separate both of them, bro. Because you can't be a pimp in the Jedi and the Jedi Order, because then you're attaching yourself to emotions. You know what I mean?
Wait, no,
So,
pimps are emotionless.
Yeah, pimps are
Right. It's all
Yeah.
the mind. It's
be-
all mind
you gotta
trick.
be
It's
able
not,
to-
all
it's not
mind
Jedi
trick.
John. It's not a Jedi John.
Pimps got to
Wait,
there you go.
compartmentalize.
not emotionless. Money's involved, bro. That anger comes out. You feel me? That anger comes
So-
out.
It's all a
know what
mind
I mean?
trick, man.
So he's got to be a Sith pimp then.
So you got to change your name to Sith Pimp, bro.
You do have the money I'm looking for.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. I clarify, as Jedi. I don't want to be that
That
dark.
deserves the golf clap.
I'm not Will Smith
straight
in
up.
them. I'm just mind trick. It's the mind trick.
Oh,
It's the
Will.
I need my
mind
money
trick.
now.
You need,
I need my money now.
Hey, yo,
You better be
why
on
does
4th
my-
Street by the end of the night.
Yo, why does my daughter think you look like Anthony Mackie, bro?
What?
Yeah,
I
my
hear
daughter
that
thinks
though.
She thinks you
Yeah.
look like Anthony Mackie, bro.
That's funny.
She calls you
That's
Hawkeye.
funny.
She calls you Falcon all the time, bro. She just keep calling you Falcon and Cap.
I
That's
got my
funny.
shield back there, so
There you go, Vinny. What's going on with you, brother?
Man, what a week.
Yeah, what a
Swamped
week.
with work last week because I had to try to get everything done in time for Strange, and then I had 2 days of rain to fight with, so I was just busy
Oh,
this week. And then I got to see Strange twice, and spent time with Mom Dukes on Sunday, and then just grinding today.
Bob Dylan. Yeah,
I can't with him, bro. I can't with him, man.
yeah.
Bob, bro, you gotta bring him on here,
Yo.
yo.
Mhm.
Two bottom bitches.
Bob is a
always two
clown,
there are.
dog.
No more. No.
He's right. Always two.
Yo. This is, you know what? This statement is something I would expect
I can't
Brendan to
deal with
say,
him.
but Bob beat him to
Brendan
it.
stole it. Yeah, Brendan. I thought Brendan
I
was
would
saying
expect
first.
Brendan to say-
he
Bob
beat me
stole
to
it.
Yo, that's
Bob
funny.
stole
That's funny. Definitely,
It's the roller too, you know.
It's
That's
the rule of two.
hilarious.
Yep.
Straight up.
By a pimp named Bane, you gotta say the whole thing. Like I call
Straight
Quest.
up.
Wow.
Straight up.
Yeah, man. I'm just excited for tonight. A lot to dive into, lots to talk about. Definitely a good week for geeks.
Yeah.
So let's
is.
get into it.
It's a good and bad week for geeks. But anyway,
It's a good week for
Good
me.
and bad
Like
week.
I mean,
it was an incredible week from it
and
was
on
an
top of
incredible week for
that-
me.
Good.
on top of that, cap it off, New York Comic Con tickets.
Oh no.
The easiest
Oh,
probably the
yeah,
easiest
yeah.
way to get
Lael,
out.
Lael wasn't as happy about that as you are, though.
I was thrilled
The
about it.
money. It's the money because it hit me
Mhm.
at the wrong time. But at the
Yeah.
same
Mhm.
time, it's still exciting. It's exciting because we got it out of the way. That's the thing. And the thing is, it's always if Mark's in here, if Mark comes in here, you know I'm ragging on him the entire time. So we'll see how that's gonna go. Watch. If he comes in here, he's gonna get ragged on the entire time. I'm dragging him through the mud. Anyway, Riley, man, what's going on, bro? How was your weekend, bro? Besides being butt naked.
Dude, this was a great week, man. You had Moon Knight last Wednesday, then Doctor Strange, then took the whole family to the local shop for free comic book day on Saturday.
Mhm.
Definitely walked out with something that was not free. Cost me a couple $100, but there will be a video coming to Lael's YouTube channel on this bad boy. Oh my god, it's so heavy. But yep, there will be a video coming on this bad boy.
That thing is awesome, man.
It is absolutely spectacular. So yeah, I got that. Also, got in a little another guy today.
What you get?
So we've got the bodega suit.
Oh, you got the
Oh,
bodega suit.
Okay.
Okay.
Really liking this a lot.
What's the verdict? What's the verdict between that one and the original?
Oh well, if you're only gonna do one, hands down the original, hands down.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
But this one is pretty
It's
damn
fun.
cool. It's pretty
Okay.
damn cool. So yeah, I'm enjoying messing around with that. Shot a video for that as well, so that'll also be coming to the 1/6 scale. Oh, sorry, 1/4 scale man YouTube channel. So yeah, filming some content for you and just ready to jump into Moon Knight and to Doctor Strange tonight. And yeah, I 100% echo with what you said at the start, with just a little bit more. If you're going to use woke as an excuse, you can fuck right off, because it's a bitch ass argument. Make a better argument. Explain why something shouldn't be the way it is, and not because you don't want it to be a strong female character or a person of color. Like, fuck right off.
Another excuse, man. I'm so sick of that, man. I'm definitely sick of it. So
make a valid argument and back it up.
Yeah.
But if all you can say is, "Oh, everything's woke now," no, you're a bitch.
Yeah, I ain't trying to hear that, bro. Here we go. Really, real quick though, let me actually address the chat. We got Latoya T in here, baby. Thank you for being here. Vibes. We got Vinny out there pimping. Oh, fan of your work. We got Louis Bits in there. Ashley Chase. We got Toy Box in the building. Thank you for being here. We got Luminar who says, "I got my tickets for New York Comic Con on the 2nd. Can't wait." Lumi, we can't wait to see you. We gonna link up. Vinny's gonna have you walk into the pizza shop. We're gonna have a ball. Don't worry about that. And on top of that, Lumi, you're on Dipset duty, not me this year. So you're gonna be good. You are on Dipset. We got Amber May in the building. Amber, thank you for being here. Renz Talentino. We got let's see here, my daughter Skylar. Thank you for basically being here. Tobar. Let's see here was who we got. Bob Dylan is in the building. We got Pew Pew in the building. Who else we got? Who else we got? Malika Mabay, man. Thank you for being here.
Peace,
let's see who else we got. Tobar, man. Winman 42, my guy. Thank you for basically being here. AJ Aguza, thank you for being here. William Owens. We got Vibes in the building. We got a couple of people here. Marvel Us Reviews, thank you for being here. My guy. One Pouch Man, thank you for being here. Let's see here. Tyler Babb, thank you for being here, man. Love you. Love everybody that's actually out there and for actually supporting the channel like you do, and also having the members here. Thank you for that. So yeah, so and Double X Magical 99 is in here. Thank you for being here, lady. So yeah, Moon Knight first. Let's jump into Moon Knight first, because that's the easiest one to kind of get out the way for me. So yeah, Moon Knight, basically the season finale ended on Wednesday. I watched it, and I can proudly say to all y'all out there, I didn't like that shit.
Word.
What?
Didn't. It was good, but it didn't live up to the expectations. I'm gonna tell you what I hated about it the most, because this has been done before, and I'm about to show you what I did not like. Like literally what I did not like about it. I'm like, come on, man. Like literally, is this what we doing? Like literally, haven't we seen this before? This right here, bro. I didn't like it. I didn't like the big kaiju fight, bro. Like it doesn't have to go that route all the time.
I like that, man. They're two gods.
Bro, gods, okay, cool. But at the same time, bro, it's just a simple fact that I've seen that same. This is just me. This is my opinion. That's all I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. I liked. Go ahead. No, guys.
I felt that it was, this episode to me was rushed. It was literally rushed, bro. Like I felt as though it was just rushed. There's certain things. There's a lot of elements that I liked about it that was entertaining, but I was like, yo, like it towards the end, to me, it got a bit convoluted, bro. That's just the way it felt. Towards the end, it got a tad bit convoluted, and they took easy way outs with this episode to me, because a lot of things that weren't really fleshed out. And I hated the simple fact that the person, that the personality that we were looking for, we only got a snippet of that personality. It lets us know that we're going to see it again or see him again, but it's like, yo, like, I could me myself, bro. I'm just tired of seeing giant kaiju gods fighting like that, where, you know, I think it could have just been done. I appreciated the fight before this, the fight in the temple. That's what I liked the most. But when we got to this, it was just like too much for me, and it kind of took me out slightly. Now, the Scarlet Scarab, the Red Scarab, like that.
Oh, she was. I loved Layla.
Yeah, the Scarlet Scarab was perfect.
That was probably
that choreography was on point.
It was incredible.
Yeah, it killed that. Yeah.
The choreography. Yeah, the
Made me feel so
choreography.
much better about Wonder Woman 84. Like,
Yeah, the choreography between both Mr. Knight and Moon Knight, those bouncing back and forth was dope as
That
shit.
was
Those
that
were
was
dope.
incredible.
Cool
They were
shit.
flawless.
That whole fight on
That
the
was
street was
flawless.
insane.
And it was cool because it brought both Steven and Mark into it too.
Yeah.
So you had both.
I thought
of
they were
them.
like it brought them together though, man.
It was a payoff for the
Perfect
twist
team.
of them being avatars of the personalities as opposed to individual personalities, that they wouldn't have been able to do that if they were like the comic book versions.
Yeah, I just
It
was
Did a
just
very
it
good
was
job with
just everything was cool up until this point for me.
The
I just didn't
kaiju,
wanna
like I
see
understand
it.
what you're saying, that like that's been done a lot, but at the same time,
It fit though, man.
having the pyramids as the
Yeah.
backdrop for it and the
Yeah.
night sky,
It was
with
good. It was good
Khonshu,
CGI too.
that-
Like the
exactly.
background,
the CGI
like-
was good, but it made sense story wise. Like I understand that, like other, like you've seen Kong and Godzilla, and you've seen and all those other things, but when you look at the pyramids, one of the wonders of the world, as the backdrop for it, and they dwarf the pyramids, and you've got the night sky behind them with
home
Khonshu,
country.
the
They're in their
moon
home
god.
country.
All of those, all of those elements, I think, made it work in this case. So I didn't feel like, oh, I've already seen this. I felt like it's appropriate here, and so that's why I was okay with it.
I tried.
Yeah, I agree.
I literally
agree.
tried, bro. I tried to be okay with it, but for me, it was just I
get what you're saying.
I understood the simple fact that number one, where they kind of like cleaned it up, was the simple fact that only the ones that have been touched by the gods, if it's not the avatars or the individuals, the believers, they were only a few that can see them, but not everybody else could see them. You know what I mean? So I get that, and I can understand that aspect of it. It's just that
I had less of a problem with this and more of a problem that Moon Knight and the Scarlet Scarab are the only avatars that could even throw a punch, whereas the other 4 or 5 of them just got like basically bitch slapped by Harrow when he walked into the chamber. None of them like flexed any muscle, showed any power. It was just like, oh nope, you're done. Apparently, these two.
Oh, you're talking about
The
When Harrow attacked the other avatars, it was he just one-shotted them all.
No fight whatsoever.
They were let down though. Osiris and all them boys
were punch.
Right. Very weak.
Yeah, that was I think a plot hole. It's like you mean none of them had any other muscle to flex, no powers to.
That was the worst part of the show, man.
But then Khonshu and Taweret and Amit are the only ones who get like avatars who aren't complete bitches. That part was a plot hole that I was like, I don't like that. It didn't ruin the episode for me because I still loved it.
Right.
But that was off. I do
it.
agree with what you said, Lael, that even though I liked it, I do agree that it did feel a little rushed, in the same way that we got to the final episode of Hawkeye, and I was like, wait a minute, they've got all of these threads to tie off. And in one episode. And I said this going into this episode, if you remember, I said that I was a little concerned that this was actually the shortest episode of the series.
That right there was
such an insane
shortest
shot.
And the shortest finale of any Disney Plus show. So I was a little concerned, and I do agree that I felt there were parts that I felt seemed a little bit rushed.
Yeah.
But
on that note,
overall, I still think it was done well.
On that note, there was a scene that Muhammad had talked about that Oscar filmed where he's in like a white void talking to his mom, and he said that was his favorite scene of the season, and they cut it for time, and it broke his heart because he felt it should have been in there.
Yeah.
And I bet that scene was amazing too, bro.
Scenes from these shows.
He said that was about as Oscar, Emmy, whatever, worthy a scene as any of the other scenes that he's getting so much shine over. And it's just,
I wonder if
that's sad. That's sad.
I will ever see it.
The only downside to this
that,
streaming shit is that we don't get a lot of the stuff on video. Therefore, we don't get a lot of the special features that we should get with this stuff. So, because I'm sure from every show that we've seen so far, there's stuff on the cutting room floor that I would love to see.
Disney
know why
has
they
to
don't
do
just
that.
These should be on
They-
Blu-ray.
They have.
These should be on
Disney-
Blu-ray.
Well,
bro.
They might put them out on physical media at some point, but Disney
I would love to see them
has
put it on
to-
physical media, if for nothing else, for them to not be able to go back later and fuck with it, because we've seen
Yeah.
that too. where
Right.
They what did they do? They took something from one of the shows from
the
something
Falcon and Winter Soldier. There was like a bloody,
Yes.
the guy went through a pipe or something, and they took out the blood and made it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, but they
Which-
did that
which
through
is-
Disney though. It wasn't on.
I
It wasn't
get
on a
it.
hard copy. Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
but
I
I mean,
agree.
when you have physical media, they can't change that.
They can't
stuff.
change
Like,
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Disney Plus, Disney at some point has to give us deleted scenes from these shows, because with the, and the thing that irritates me though is that episode, like that scene, Vinny, you said was cut for time.
Yeah.
Whose time are they worried
Whose
about?
time?
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
First
Right,
of all, the episode
right.
was the shortest episode.
Not
of the
my
season.
time. I watched the whole
So
damn show.
they could have gone longer, but it's not like
Yeah.
you've got like commercial and it's like, oh wait, we have to be done by 9 because CSI
Right.
comes on. It's like
Yeah.
like
It
so
already
the
is
cut
only
for time
6.
is bullshit.
It's already only 6 episodes, and you look at a show like freaking like
Yeah.
The Flash or Arrow, where there's 22 damn
Right.
episodes.
And each
in the season.
episode gets an hour.
And there's like
Or
I
half.
don't know, at least 5, 6, 7 filler episodes in a regular CW type show. There's only 6 here. To give us, if you're not going to give us, a 10 episode season, then let us have a 45-minute to an hour long finale. Like
Yeah.
no one who's made it that far to episode 6 is saying, oh, this needs to be wall to wall fucking action.
Scenes should
But this is
You're-
why they
you're-
need season 2
if
for
you
both
made it
these
that
shows,
far,
bro.
you're on board because you're loving the character study that
Exactly,
you've seen
yeah.
so far.
Yeah.
Scenes should only be cut, in my opinion, on Disney Plus shows if it does not contribute effectively to the overall story, or
Right.
impedes the flow of the episode in some way.
Yeah.
If it
Right.
doesn't do one of those things and it's a great scene, there's no reason to cut it for time, because you can literally make it as long or as short as you want.
As
That's
you
what I-
want.
Yeah, I
that's
definitely don't get
unfortunate.
that. I don't.
I don't
mean,
understand that either,
especially when
man.
you're bringing Netflix shows over that each episode is an hour long.
Yeah.
You're
An
bringing these
hour
episodes
long.
over, and you're
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, and you're cheating yourself, because this was the
Mhm.
shortest episode out of all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though scenes
see-
like this, now she was the highlight scene stealer of the episode for me.
Look at
Layla,
that,
right?
man.
Yeah.
She
She killed
killed
Yeah,
it.
it.
look at
Killed
that,
it, bro.
dude. And the
Yeah.
She killed
choreography, again, I can't stress enough how good that choreography was.
The
How-
choreography in this episode was phenomenal.
It was
Dude, with-
phenomenal.
with them
Everything
in the
was good
street,
up
the
until
street
point that
fight?
Kaiju was crazy, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Be honest.
I think what was so beautiful about the choreography in this episode is that, for the same reason that we'll have the same feeling from that we had in this episode and going forward, they spent so much time with the character study part that now
Yeah.
whatever happens to Moon Knight, you actually will feel something for that you never would have been able to feel at the end of a 2-hour movie if that's all we got, because you never would have been able to pile in all this, Mark Spector, Stephen Jake stuff in a movie like we were able to with this show. And that is the
Yeah.
for making
I love
a character study as opposed to a 6-episode, beat 'em up. And then when you
Mhm,
when you get to the fight in the street, and when you get to, God willing, Moon Knight in different movies or different shows or cameos, whatever,
Yeah,
you're bringing
yeah.
all that emotional attachment into that and feeling like, oh shit, like this
Yeah.
means so much more. Hope he don't get hurt. Hope he doesn't die. That you wouldn't have felt if you wouldn't have been able to feel if you just threw him into a movie with a little bit of this backstory and not the weight that we got. So
Yeah.
it was so well done, and it made you care so much more about him for so many people who, even if they were readers, had just really didn't have much idea of Moon Knight or knew about Moon Knight aesthetically, knew the cool white costume, but didn't really know much
who
about
the man
Mark.
was.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't know the man.
Yeah.
And see, the thing about it-
I give it. Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
No, well, the thing about it that I think why it needed to be longer is because Moon Knight is one of the most complicated, I think, characters that Marvel has done in a while in the books, and now he's got a TV show. So you would really have the chance to like dissect him and break him down for people that don't know the character as well as we do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The show, like, to go past more than 6 episodes, man. They go at least another season because you need that. Mark is a complicated character. So
Yeah.
you know he has Jake, he has Steven. Those people that are new to the Moon Knight character need to know these things if they want to understand who he is. He's more than just the suit, you know. And
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to get as much as we did out of it. But I would love to have season 2, man, or season 3. Like
Yeah.
I just think we got robbed from such a good character, man. It was awesome to see it play out. I never thought we'd get a Moon Knight TV show.
You got
Yeah.
And especially for it to be done the way it was done. I mean, that limo scene was
Yeah,
straight out of the
bro.
comics. That limo scene was straight out of the
Yeah.
comics. Sinkovich was hit up by Feige and or Disney, and they asked him about using his name with the psychiatric hospital, and he was like, would that offend you? And he was like, it'll offend me if you don't use it. Fucking do it.
Right. That's
and,
awesome.
and it took that scene is straight out of one of those comics, man. It's just
Yeah.
incredible. And I love that they still held back Jake's avatar form. So that's still something to like.
That's what I wanted to see so bad, yo. Like, the one with the big onk. That's what I
feel like them not showing it is the best hint that we might be getting more, because if they had shown it, I'm like, okay, well then shit, what are you holding? You know, what do you keep back?
They wouldn't have ended it the way they did with the limo thing if they weren't like. We know we're getting more Moon Knight, and we know specifically that they've got plans for what they're gonna do with Jake. You know, that's why we had the blackout scene again in this one when he's fighting Harrow. So we know that like they want to go down. They're gonna do more with that. They're just slow.
But you don't think we get another season at all, Brendan? Like that's gonna just be it.
Well, so here's the thing. They're not supposed to, because they submitted it as a limited event for Emmy consideration.
A limited event for the Emmy
but
considerations and stuff like that. Yeah.
They're talking about more seasons now, and so
they
people are very confused.
Bro.
So, and they called this a season finale, not a series finale. Now, it didn't say at the end like Moon Knight will return season 2, like Loki did. Mm-hmm. It did not do what
I didn't even
did.
peep that.
Yeah,
but
that's what we're hoping for, Rens.
Yeah,
that's what we're definitely hoping for. I need that. I need with the Ankh, and I need it to be a black suit, like literally
a black suit.
If it's the black suit, if it's that black suit, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
there's a chance that like they're looking for like a loophole, and that maybe it's gonna be like not Moon Knight season 2, but maybe it's gonna be like it'll be the name of a specific story arc from the comics or something, or like
that'd be dope too. Midnight Mission,
something like that, or like Moon Knight and Daredevil as like a team up kind of show. So they'll be able to say this is a new show,
different,
not
call
season
it.
Now you think we're gonna get that
original?
Call it the
1/6 of Layla.
Yeah, something. But we will get more. We will get more. We'll get Jake. We're gonna get more of Layla. I do think because they originally Raoul Bushman was in the script for this show, and then they decided that they wanted to focus on understanding who Mark and Steven were in this one, and bring in Bushman down the road. So I 100% believe that we're getting more Moon Knight. We are going to get the Bushman story, and then that'll help flesh out Layla's story too. It's just a matter of when we get that. And maybe there's even some kind of like connection with Jake and Bushman, kind of, because it seems very much like I mean, they're making Jake out to kind of almost be like a serial killer. They're kind of making him out to be almost like De Niro,
a mobster serial killer,
right?
Yeah.
So which is different than what we're used to. But at the same time, this version of Stephen Grant was completely different than what we were used to. And I think they ended up really doing a good job with that and the relationship he has with Mark. So I'm not worried about what they're going to do with Jake. I'm actually very intrigued. I think it's going to be pretty interesting, but right now it's just a matter of when and where he pops up next. Like I said, I've said that there are ties to Thor in the comics, and that maybe we'll see him there. But I think anything that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness has taught us is that we can speculate for fun, but don't get too tied to it, because They do not want us to see everything that's coming, which was and we'll get to it later. But there was it's perfectly echoed in a big misdirect that they put into the trailer for Multiverse of Madness that then was in the movie, but completely flipped what it actually was when we saw the movie versus the trailer. Which was cool. It was a fun surprise. I liked it. But that's the thing, is like we'll speculate until the cows come home. Until we see Moon Knight again, we're going to be speculating about when and where and how we're going to, and that'll be fun as long as we don't get too tied to it, because ultimately 99% chance we're all going to be wrong.
Caballero,
I want a 1/6 scale of Scarlet Scarab. That's what I want.
Caballero de Luna.
That's what I want.
Spanish is horrible, but since Jake speaks Spanish, they can just give it a Spanish title. And they get around. See, that's not Moon Knight, so now we can do the show without having to change the name.
Yeah,
loophole.
I think basically myself. I think more so like they're, if anything, especially with Oscar Isaac being a producer of the show as well. I think they're leaning more towards cinematic, man. I honestly believe that they're
I'd be cool if they jump right to films.
What you say?
I'd be cool if we got a movie instead of season 2. As long as there's more.
Yeah.
As long as there's something medium it is, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah,
something with more of Mark and Jake and Steven, bro.
Yeah.
It just
and the 3 suits.
Perfectly.
Huh?
Toya nailed it perfectly. Like, the crux of this show is we had to go on the journey in those first 4 episodes.
Yeah.
For that episode 5 to see Mark and Steven, like, to see them come together and to see that this whole time was trying to protect Steven, not the body that they shared so he wouldn't die, but because he would protect him like he was like his surrogate, like his brother.
Like his brother,
And then
and that's how they created
him
balance.
to go back and not let Steven die and be in the sands by himself in that final episode. It brought everything full circle, and it speaks to that family love. It speaks to, like LaToya said, the mental illness and coming to grips with it and learning and trying to get on a path toward better mental health.
Learning to live with their issues.
About, like, not
because it wasn't like, Mark just doesn't need Steven anymore. Steven didn't need Mark anymore.
No,
and they made it.
And there's no magic pill. It's like you've got to, you have to work through it.
Like he
you gotta
still
work
needed
through it.
Yeah.
I still hated those fucking kaijus.
Bro.
I did. I hated it.
I liked it, bro. I
hated it.
Just pretend.
For that particular scene, it made sense.
I couldn't. They were there, bro. I couldn't. They were there. I understand in the context of, like, okay, they're gods and they're bigger
they're from Egypt.
I mean, they're gods, and I get that. Bigger than life. Everything about the trope, and on top of that, like I said, they are gods. Biblically, from a biblical standpoint, just from history, things that we've actually known, folklore. However, I know that, but it's just like, I just felt as though the last portion of the film or the show in this episode, I wanted it to be extended. I wanted it to breathe just a tad bit more.
I can agree with that.
It needed to breathe just a tad bit more. You know what I mean? Just for us to kind of like get the idea of, okay, this is the ending point of the journey. We know that there's reconciliation between Mark and Steven. They've they've not even reconciled. They've put their differences aside. They
bonded,
understand
bro.
Now. They bonded, yes, and they know that they need each other more than anything. So I get that. And Layla's journey was incredible. I hated that it ended and we didn't see her at all.
Yo, she only got like 3 seconds.
What
of
I hated,
bro.
the portion of this, the part that I hated the most about the ending was when Mark said, no, Steven said, Mark, I think it was Mark that said,
Mark said, let us go.
Let's go save the world.
Let's go save the world. But even
how? Because you don't come back as Moon Knight.
Exactly. But when he did that, and then the screen just went white, and we see him in the bed back at the apartment, and I'm like, wait a minute,
where's Layla?
Like, where's the like what? Like what's going? They didn't show her.
They gotta answer those questions, though, bro. They gotta answer those questions.
Like I'm like,
they're trying to keep
yo.
it mysterious about her, what happens to her next, kind of like they did at the end of Endgame with Gamora, right? They want us to be thinking about well, what happened to her, where is she, and how is she going to come back into the story when it,
That is like
she
that.
going to
You're
come
right.
back in with Moon Knight? Are we going to maybe see her in something separate
I would
before we see Moon Knight?
I would love to see her in Wakanda forever, bro.
And they didn't answer where
That could
that would be awesome,
happen.
but where?
I would love to see
That'd
that.
be great though, bro.
It could happen, but
I
know you didn't like to see the kaiju style. You got to at least admit that the CG they nailed.
They
nailed the CG.
That
and
was
the
perfect.
CGI
They
was dope.
killed it.
Even
This
her,
show
when her
has the
hair,
best CG that I think they've done today.
Right.
when her braids moved
Power
that truck
Rangers.
to a size, that was dope.
Yep.
I do give it that, but it just, man, I wish, I don't know. Anyway, it was just that took me out of it.
To see a mud eating
we can all agree
spirits,
that we're
bro.
excited for more Moon Knight, though, in whatever form.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I just want to know where the museum chick is. Like, where'd she go? Because they could have just had like an after credits.
We got to bring her back to make her do something.
Am I wrong?
Bro, you've been
Am I
talking
wrong?
about
The
her
pyramid.
I mean,
She can work
you
at the
got all them
pyramid.
other avatars that wasn't doing shit. Like, give her some powers. Like, let her
Give
come
her
back.
an avatar, right?
Give her an avatar. By the way, how poorly thought out is encapsulating a god in stone? If they could break free by
Breaking it.
Like all you had to do is break it.
It was going to be like some sort of like
spell,
something you had to do rather than just
a regular archaeologist could have found it and like trip and let
Somebody go there dusting off the shelf and break it. Oh my god!
You know how many people have broken like limbs on a hot toy because they're trying to pose it, and that's all you have to do to fucking free a god? Is that?
Yeah, like tell Mark to free me.
Miles, am I gonna free a fucking like?
He was like, tell Mark to free me. I thought he'd do some kind of fucking like mind link or spell. He was like, all he meant was just tell Mark to drop me on the floor.
Seriously.
And the thing is, he said, "Tell Mark."
Say that again, dog.
He said, "Tell Mark to free me," but it was Layla who freed him. You know what I mean? So
Brendan is stupid, yo. Did you catch what he said, dog?
What'd he say?
He said, you know how many people have broken nails and limbs for just posing a hot toy? How the hell can you be in a?
And that's how you free a god.
There you go.
Again, this episode, though I know where they were going with it, it was
if
okay.
that shit were true, you know how many women watching right now would run in to break their fucking Thor hot toys and hoping that Chris Hemsworth fucking pops up.
Yep, and would come right out.
Anyway,
Latoya's up there right now, just smashing the shit out of Doctor Strange figures just to see if Benny Cumberbatch just like fucking pops up in your house, man.
I can't deal with y'all,
real quick. Jason, your rating for this episode. All right, you know what? Your rating
for the episode or the whole show?
Your rating for the season and as a whole.
9.5. 9.5. And only get 9.5 because of the fact when we first met the other avatars, they were lame, dog. That was the lamest court or judge. Like what, 2 seconds and you say, "Oh no," because he's a broken man and he's lying. You didn't even ask Arthur nothing.
Yeah,
you didn't ask him anything. And then when he goes to fight them, they're beat. Osiris is your avatar.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Yeah. Osiris is the king of the. You got your ass whooped like that?
Yeah.
Nah.
That makes sense.
So that's why I only get 9.5. Other than that, I love the show, bro.
Vinny, what's your rating, bro?
I give it an 8 out of 10. I would have loved to see maybe a couple more episodes. I feel like if this was 8 episodes, this would have been maybe beat WandaVision for me. But WandaVision is still the king to me, or the queen, if you will. And I feel like but for what they did, that's on a scale of like, you know, the caliber of what they're doing. It's very high. Like it's an incredible accomplishment for what they did, what they were able to do. I feel like another couple episodes where they would be able to have a little bit of more Moon Knight mixed in with the character study, because I didn't want to have to sacrifice the character study to get more Moon Knight. So if they would have given us a little bit more time, I felt like this could have been damn near perfect show. So
Perfect.
definitely 8
Mhm.
8 to 8.5, but hold me to it 8.
Yeah. What you give it, Brendan?
9. Yeah.
Give it a 9.
I would have liked one more episode. One
Mhm.
more
Yeah.
episode to I mean, I would have liked more than that, obviously. But I
Yeah.
think one more episode could have given us that breathing room that we needed on some of the key plot points.
Yeah.
Just one more episode, I think, would have had a big impact.
Mhm.
That would have given more time for Layla. Because, dude, I love
Yeah.
that moment when the little girl is like, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" And she's like, "Yeah, I am."
Oh man,
That
that
was
was
dope
awesome.
as shit.
fucking
Yeah.
That was
badass.
dope
Like,
Yeah, I
as
love
shit.
that
I
part.
wanted
That
I wanted
representation
Yeah, I love
was
that.
dope.
I wanted
Speaking of
more
Yeah, that was
representation,
dope.
I love that there was how important it was to the director to actually film the shit in Egypt.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
in
As many
Cairo.
Egypt
Yeah.
actors as
They
possible.
were in Cairo.
Like
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
It was
Yep.
very, very important to him, and it showed. Like this was as authentic as it could be.
It was
Yeah.
solid.
So
It was
it's a
definitely
9
Are
solid.
you
for
an
me,
Egyptian
like I said.
superhero?
If they had that one, if they had that one more episode for that space to let some of the plot points have a little bit more breathing room, I probably would have said 10. Like that
Mhm.
probably would have put it up for me at 10 because I think I think it was incredibly faithful to the spirit of Moon Knight, even though they changed in a significant way a great number of things. They did it in a
Mhm.
way that always felt consistent with Moon Knight as a
Mhm.
character and
Mhm.
what we've been reading for years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I just the performances were great. I really would have liked to see that scene that Vinny mentioned. Think cutting
That would have
stuff
took it
like
over the
that
top.
is
That'd have been crazy.
brutal.
Man,
Yeah.
I'd have been in
And-
tears, bro.
but
I would
I
Oscar
feel
love
like
to see
you
Isaac-
mentioned that
that.
on purpose to get them to
Yeah,
push them to put it out on something.
Oscar
Yeah, I
Isaac
hope they do.
was just absolutely phenomenal. I genuinely believe that he deserves at least an Emmy nomination, if not
Yeah.
a win.
Emmy or
Obviously,
Oscar,
we've got
bro.
several more months before we see what else would get nominated. But
Yeah.
it's just
Mhm.
a 9 for me, and it just so close to being perfect and to not needing anything else. It gave, I think, it brought people in who know nothing about Moon Knight and made them excited
Yeah.
about Moon Knight, and that is a
Yeah.
hard thing to do because it's
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
hard to do in a comics.
complex character. Yeah,
Yep.
and
They
it's
rebooted the comics every other year for forever.
And
But
and
just
that's
think-
exactly the thing. It's not like you have these other, Spider-Man, Daredevil. Like there's continuity,
Yeah.
but like the number of resets that Moon Knight has had in half the time
Yeah.
is insane,
It's
right?
incredible.
And
Mhm.
and so to be able to do something that still felt consistent and didn't feel out of place with where he's been and what we've experienced in the comics for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't sell it enough. They did such a great job top to bottom on this show.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's made people like us and then people who have no fucking clue who Moon Knight is
Mhm.
excited to see where he's going to pop up next in the MCU. And I think that's a home run.
Yeah.
But just
I,
think that
I gave it at again, it would have been a 10 for me. The season for me would have been a 10, just off an emotional beats, off presentation.
yeah.
Simple that they actually got Egyptian actors to play certain roles.
Yep.
They got Middle Eastern actors to play. They paid homage to it. Even from all the way down to the music, it was phenomenal. And I
Music
loved
was
it.
dope too. Oh
what
my
took me
god.
Title
out-
sequences. The title sequences
Exactly.
were fucking great.
What took me out of
Yeah,
a 10
man.
and brought it down to like a 9 point, I would say a 9.5, between about a 9.5. So it's what took me out of it. I'm sorry. It was
Kaiju.
that ending, the Kaijus, bro. Like I hated
That's fair. Though.
it was
That's fair.
that. It was that.
Oh man.
And it was also how the ending was, how it blipped, and then there was no explanation as to what happened between that time.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't like, because I think that with all the characters, Layla is just as important, and she's a badass character. But
Yeah.
again, if they're just leaving it for us to, we'll wait, we'll wait and see. But
No,
again,
Lael, oh no! All right, finish what you were saying. I got a question for you.
I don't know. I don't know. It to me, it just took me out of it, man. I was just like, yo, come on, man. Like, the ending should have been a bit
like
more
a female
tighter.
Indiana Jones, bro.
And they needed to basically let the show breathe a bit more. Layla has to be, if not just, not just Oscar Isaac's acting and how he is and how dope he was throughout the entire show. I mean, you got to give it up to pretty much all of them. Oscar Isaac.
Oh yeah.
You got to give it up to what's his name? Ethan Hawke. I mean, you got to give it up to him because he was so convincing. Layla, her character. I think all of them just basically pulled it off so well, and they picked the perfect cast for it. It was just that ending, that last episode that I think needed to breathe a bit more. And you were right, Brendan. You were last week. You said, I'm just afraid that it's being that it's too short, it might suffer a bit.
Yeah.
And to me, I think it's slightly dead. It's slightly dead. But
I hear you.
I was still happy to see it. And please, Hot Toys, if you gave us a golden armor Wonder Woman, please give us Layla.
You gotta give us Layla,
Please give us Layla, because that character.
If they don't give us
Layla,
man, yeah, I don't know, because
that's gonna be a problem.
I can't even.
Well,
I can't even wrap my head around that.
You gotta look at it like this, bro. It only took them 6 episodes to even try to explain a character like Moon Knight.
Yeah,
and they got it off. For the most part,
Yeah.
like I mean,
and there's still so
you
much
gotta give
left
it to
that
him,
they
bro.
can
Yeah.
do too. It's
a super
Yes,
complex
absolutely.
cat like Mark Spector, bro. That
Now,
took guts
This guys,
for only
this,
6 episodes.
yeah.
so I
That's
mentioned
balls,
this to
bro.
Lael. I mentioned this to Lael the other day. I want to see what everybody thinks. So
Mhm.
this is the only show
Mhm.
that because there were cameos. They were slightly different, but they were there in WandaVision. This was the only show that like didn't have any type of cameo.
There's 2. They cut them.
That's right.
What?
So the Eternals
Yep.
were going to be a cameo in this show.
What?
Yep. They cut it.
They ended up cutting it because they said for time. They wanted to focus on and give
Time
more
for
to
who?
I know, but they wanted to focus more on the story of Mark and Steven and Layla, and felt that it was supposed to be it was gonna be like kind of like a flashback type thing and showing, the Eternals encountering like gods. I think it might have been Khonshu and specifically Kumail and Johnny was gonna be in it. But they ended up not doing that because they felt that they wanted to focus more on the story that they were trying to tell, and that they didn't need the Eternals cameo.
Yep.
And if it's a situation where they're like, no, this isn't what we need to do for the story, we need to do something, then because don't do a cameo just to do a cameo.
Yeah.
Especially
But if it made sense,
right
though,
now,
if it made sense.
If it makes sense, but they deemed that it didn't. All right.
Yeah.
Now,
Wow.
the other part of that, too, is obviously the Eternals is nowhere near the most popular MCU property that they've done. So,
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to be like, oh, I don't need the Eternals. Some people might have actually kind of felt a little soured on a particular episode of Moon Knight if they did put the Eternals in there.
Yep. That was a smart move.
That's true, yeah.
So, that's what
true.
I'm thinking. It's like the story might have been really cool, but given what they did with the Eternals and how that was received by the larger MCU fan base, was it maybe a better bet for them to not do that and let Moon Knight exist on his own merits and not even need to do
well, I got you on that one.
In all fairness, might not have
that.
done anything positive for it anyway.
I feel that. Oh,
I think I would have been interested to see what the plan was, but I don't think Moon Knight was lacking anything because it didn't have a cameo. And I think that's something that we're getting a little spoiled on, especially with Multiverse of Madness that we're obviously going to jump into shortly. But I think
We're about to jump into that in a minute.
people are getting so
Cameos,
obsessed with like cameos and everything that it's like, sometimes it's okay to just have an MCU film or TV show that is just its own thing, and we don't need to lean into cameos. It's like, yes, we have the multiverse, but I also want I also want stories that are self-contained, that you don't have to be connected to every other property.
That's why I was glad it
character and
wasn't a
multiverse.
multiverse gimmick for the other personalities. I was glad that they kept it just different personalities, and
Yeah,
it didn't
and
feel
it
like
worked.
they
Moon
had to
Knight survived
force
on
it.
its own.
I'm glad they didn't have to feel like they had to force the tie-in. It
Right.
stood
Yeah.
fine on its own.
Which again brings us to the next topic at hand, which is, like I said, this is probably one of the most controversial since like last week. And that's this movie, Doctor Strange,
Our fans really
Mom,
divided.
the Multiverse of Madness. So I want to get it out the way real quick because these guys got a lot to say. And I'm just going to tell everybody out there, for me, it's on my top 5 list of
Ooh, okay.
Marvel movies
Ooh.
of all time that I love. I loved this movie. Just dissecting everything from front to back, even the second viewing from front to back, understanding the characters. And in my opinion, there was character development, understanding why the Illuminati needed to go the way they did, understanding, America Chavez's importance, in this film, and especially her importance to Doctor Strange, taking a man who was selfish and making him selfless. The most important line to me was when Christine told him, we would have never have worked because you always have to be the one holding the knife, meaning that he always makes decisions what he deems for the better good. But in our opinions, it's basically because he's making the decisions and it's what's best for him in a sense.
Because having lost his sister, though.
That's how he lost his sister. But here's the thing. What we see in here is it became selfless when it came to America Chavez, especially when, of course, the zombie Strange became his avatar, which a lot of people hated, which I didn't understand. That was the dumbest. Why would you hate that? I thought that was dope. And when he told her, you took us every place, everywhere we needed to be, you can do this. And he instilled the confidence in her to use her. But after being told the entire film that she can't use her ability, she doesn't know how to do it, he gave her the confidence to use it. You know what I mean? And I love that aspect. I loved the torture in both him and Wanda missing her children. That was her motivation the entire film, missing her children, wanting to connect with her children by any means necessary. And of course, we know with villains, they never necessarily think that they're wrong. They have an agenda and they never think that agenda is wrong. They think it serves a purpose. Stephen Strange, knowing that no matter which multiversal version of yourself you see, in each version, you can never get Christine. You can never have her. You'll never have that relationship with her. And that's heartbreaking to know that there's nothing that you can do about it. In every version, you lose her. It'll never happen. I love that aspect of the film. I love what they were telling us. I love the visuals. I love the simple fact that, in my opinion, the Illuminati went the way they did. And the reason why is because they were arrogant as fuck and they didn't work together at all. They were working for themselves separately, not together. But what was important is that now we know that when Doctor Strange helps to formulate the Illuminati in the 616, he witnessed what was wrong and can make those situations right. So in my opinion, I love the film. A lot of people don't like, and I know, Brandon, you don't really like Sam Raimi. You got a valid reason not to like him. I like his style because it's like I'm looking at a comic book. I love what he did with this particular film. I enjoyed it the whole way through. I mean, and I didn't think that a lot of people said there was problems with the pacing. In my opinion, I didn't think there was. It was slow when it needed to be. And when it needed to be, it picked up where it needed to be. And I think the sequences were great. I loved the film, and I'm not changing that. To me, in my opinion, it was a 10 out of 10. In my opinion, it was a 10 out of 10, and I loved it. Jason, I want you to go first because I know you had some gripes about it. So I want you to tell me how you really, really feel. Tell me why you mad, son.
I'm not. I don't know. I just feel. I don't know. That's more of a not even a letdown because I give it like an 8 out of 10. Like it was decent enough to say okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I give it like an 8 out of 10. The only thing I didn't like about it was like the Illuminati team here, they sucked. Like their arrogance is what like turned me off by them. One. And then two, when she finally got loose, like she killed them like they were like like flies to a swatter, bro. Like it was just and Xavier, I don't know, I don't care what version of Xavier it is, he don't get a chance. Like he dies in everything now. I mean, ever since he don't get a chance, bro. I mean, this guy, even the one from the damn cartoon dies in 2 seconds. I'm like, unbelievable. This cat doesn't get a break. And then the way my man went out, Black Bolt. Oh my god! I was like, "What the fuck is going?" They were getting killed so quick. Like that's why when you were saying cameo, I was laughing in my head like, "What cameo?" They was only on for about 2 seconds, and they were all dead. So I mean, I don't even count them as a cameo. I don't know. That's my biggest gripe, man. The whole. I mean, I know Wanda's power level. I know House of M Wanda. I know that's what they were going for, and they almost let her. I mean, but another gripe, a small one. So she realizes what she did in WandaVision was wrong, right? She knows that she was wrong, and she feels bad about what she did to the people. This, that, and the third.
No, she didn't.
And I know the dark hold changes you the more you use it. I know that. That's why her hands started getting black because it was really starting to affect her, blah, blah, blah. But it was like, she went from 0 to 100 from WandaVision to when we saw her again.
If you realize,
yes, she didn't, bro.
The end where she's like happy and nice. Remember, that was the illusion. Then we saw the real her.
Well, true,
true. With the Darkhold at the end of WandaVision. And you got to remember that
I regress. I forgot about that.
She never suffered any consequences for what happened in WandaVision. Mm-hmm. She didn't have to pay any consequences for what she did in that. It went,
but she did feel bad about it, though.
Okay, like I feel bad about it, but that doesn't mean I think I was wrong to do it. Like she felt bad, but she still immediately then went to, but I'm still going to do what I need to do to get my fucking kids. Yeah, and that was, I'm going to put this facade on, and now I'm knee deep in the Darkhold.
She wasn't sorry at all.
But I know it's from the comics about the kids, but
first,
they weren't even
real. If you go
real.
back to the end of that show, it tracks.
She wasn't sorry about anything that she actually did. What she thought she was doing was right. It's just the simple fact that there was interference. Even when she left with the Darkhold, bro. She didn't make amends with anybody in that town. She didn't. There was no amends that were made. There were still questions that they have. She left before anything could actually be answered.
And
so,
she
no.
luck.
When she started freeing them to fight,
she had the Darkhold, though.
No, but when she started freeing them to fight Agatha in the middle of the town, she did apologize to the people. She was crying. She said she was sorry for what she did. Look at that part again.
She felt bad, but that doesn't mean
because she had all those people under her control.
But that's the thing. She felt remorse for that. But the thing is, it was only for her own selfish intent. Because basically it was to say, because here's the thing you got to keep in mind. Even when she tried to free them, if you listen to what Agatha said, she said, it's either the town or your family. And she enslaved them again. She only let a few people get out, and she enslaved them again to keep her family there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, it was all selfish intent. And the thing is, she let the Darkhold take hold of her, and that's how she fully embraced the Scarlet Witch. This is why of what we actually got.
The people,
but that's why she got so dark. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand that's why she got so dark, and it's crazy to see it go from 0 to 100. I know that she was on the verge of it from WandaVision. You know, she felt some remorse, but not remorse for trying to keep her family together at all.
Nah, she didn't.
You know what I'm saying?
She had, there was selfish intent the entire time, and we knew that it was a fractured mind. And it was only in the Darkhold. Not only does it possess you, but it also enhances what is already there. And that's what it did. It just molested her.
To see this version of her on screen is like,
collateral damage, but she didn't.
Yeah,
didn't stop her.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, you have to die, but you have to die. Like that was the kind of mentality there. It's like, I'm sorry that I've got to kill this other version of me in this other universe so I can take the kids, but bitch got to get got because those are my kids and I'm taking them. Like that's where she was at. It was the ends justify the means.
Yeah, there
that's my only two gripes, man.
Out of 100, but she didn't. The signs were all there that she would literally stop anybody got in her way of those.
Yeah,
I mean, look at you. Think
especially
about
how she killed all the
version, the MCU version of Wanda. Man, her parents get killed when she's a kid. She loses her brother. All right. She gets these powers that she doesn't understand. Then she gets blamed because of everything that happened in Civil War. And in Lagos and everybody getting blown up in that building at the beginning of Civil War. Then you go into the Sokovia Accords and all that, and then all the superheroes are fighting because of something that they, that she feels like she initiated. Then she's like on the run. She has to, she's trying to meet up with Vision. He gets, he's being attacked. She essentially has to kill him. Then he's brought back, and then she has to watch him get killed again, and then snapped away. And then she comes back, and he's not there. And now she's got to fight Thanos. And then she goes through everything in WandaVision. Like, this has been the most brutal journey for any character in the MCU across all of these films. And this is where it culminated. This is where it came to a head. And it's like, it makes sense that she went off the fucking deep end because nobody has had to put up with the level of shit that she's had to throughout all of these films.
Well, saying that and the Darkhold effect too.
Right. Well, that's why she was so susceptible. That's why she was like, she wanted to stop feeling pain and to get something that gave her actual joy. And that's why she was so willing to use the Darkhold, and then it corrupted her further. And that's where that's what took us into this movie.
I feel like that's why the most powerful scene is Wanda forgiving herself, her other version, because she knows
at the end,
she feels.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, I get it. If I lost these guys, I'd do the same shit. Fuck everybody.
Yeah.
Yep. That. Yep.
Well,
right on the nose.
We need a
I get what you're saying,
Jason. White Vision.
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah, that's my only gripe. I only had two little gripes, man. That was it. I mean, I liked it for what it was. You know what I'm saying? But I went in there with other expectations. I wanted to see White Vision at some point. You know what I mean?
Well,
maybe he would pop up.
Yep.
Honestly,
but
I thought Elizabeth Olsen's version of Wanda and that her power scale, not only perfect, but the power scale was sexy as hell because it was what I wanted to see. Like literally what I wanted to see. I wanted to see her over the top. I wanted to see her powerful.
Phenomenal.
She was phenomenal, bro. Like literally, that's what she does.
She was talking to Strange in that orchard. That was a different person,
bro. Different.
Yeah, it wasn't Wanda. That was a Darkhold, I think. I wasn't even.
I wasn't Elizabeth Olsen just like yelling to portray that now she's a bad guy. That was her a different fucking actress. That's
her gait, the way she walked, her mannerisms, all of it was like boom, like that. Okay, well,
that was like, yo, who are
actress
you?
For her to be able to flip that switch and go from Wanda to the Scarlet Witch right there was so impressive.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, now they're finally putting them on their power levels they should be. They've been doing Thor and the Hulk dirty for years, and finally, I guess we get some hope now with somebody like Wanda having her real power.
But Jason, that's what you said. What you said right there, I feel like is my mental solution to what is a lot of people, I guess, is one of their gripes with the Illuminati is them being taken out because I feel like their Wanda is the Wanda that we've seen in the previous films where she's basically just a telekinesis. I don't think that their Wanda has chaos magic.
With the dark.
So when they're talking about when Strange is warning them about Wanda, it's like the bitch can like move cars around. So what? Who cares?
Right.
Like we got
she
her.
Could dream
worried about that. So I don't think they've seen that coming. They were not ready for Omni-Man versus the Guardians. Like they weren't ready for that beatdown. Yeah. They didn't. And I've mentioned their Wanda was
that arrogance killed me, bro.
So I don't feel like they were arrogant. I felt like they knew their Wanda. They're like Wanda, the one that could just like throw some shit around. We got her. Like,
but
when Captain Marvel was like, "Oh, we can handle a little witch,"
but the problem is the arrogance came in the form of like, bro, you don't let the enemy know the hand you're playing.
Yeah,
you don't let the enemy know. And when you sit there and say Black Bolt can take you out with just a word, and
why say that? Why say that?
But this isn't some unknown character.
Oh, she went right for his mouth too.
They were trying to scare her.
She didn't have.
The thing.
But
couldn't.
The one
that was terrible.
Wouldn't have had the power to do anything with that knowledge. If you told Wanda from Civil War that hey, Black Bolt can fry you with his mouth, she would have just like
it wasn't until WandaVision.
She would have just tried to throw him with her mind or something, and he would have blasted her. Like they didn't understand that she had a whole.
They are horrible poker players, bro. They gave their whole hand away.
But Illuminati and the comics are fucking arrogant as hell too. Yeah, they're the strongest.
That's what they are.
But they're smart though.
Yeah, but think about it. Iron Man, all right, Tony Stark is incredibly intelligent. He's also the most arrogant bitch there is. That's the thing.
Right.
When you think that you are so much smarter than everybody else, you think that there are far fewer threats to your power than there actually are. And that was displayed with the Illuminati. Now, when it comes to Wanda's power, though, and I had mentioned this to Lael in a conversation that we were having, I don't think Wanda has been nerfed in the MCU the way so many people do. I think they just started her journey early, right? We just got to the point where, okay, now Wanda is who she is. But if she was this power level back in Age of Ultron or back in Civil War, the movies would have been 4 seconds long.
Yeah,
she had to go on a journey. She had to, and not to mention that they had to modify her origins because of licensing when Fox still had the X-Men and stuff like that. Yeah. So we get Wanda, and she wasn't that's why they never even called her the Scarlet Witch, in Age of Ultron. She was just Wanda Maximoff, right? She didn't become the Scarlet Witch until the end of WandaVision. And then into this, that was her journey. That was where she was going. You got to start somewhere. You can't start on 10 because you got nowhere left to go.
Well,
and so I don't think it was an intentional nerfing. I think it was long play. This is the journey, and we're going to get to that power level. And they just did.
Right. What I would have loved is if they had spent maybe just 10 more minutes in the film to show the Illuminati fighting. If they would have
Thor and Hulk are a different thing. I'm talking specifically about Wanda. Wanda was not nerfed.
Vinny, there was a longer scene with them fighting. They cut it.
They did?
That's so stupid, bro.
They cut
That's
it.
so dumb.
Because I feel like we knew how much that meant for Wanda to do that to them. But I feel like there's a lot of people that don't understand how strong that was showing Wanda. Like that was Thanos kicking Hulk's ass in Infinity War to show you how strong Thanos is moment.
Right.
That was the point of that scene, to show you if she's able to fuck them up, even though they didn't know what was coming at them. That still was to show how powerful she's become. But without really knowing like what Reed and Black Bolt can do to the average person. I mean, not the average person, but like someone who really does, especially Black Bolt. Like a lot of people have no idea how powerful he is, and it's not just
you're gonna see him use his powers or nothing, man. Maybe one time,
quick, but still. But I would love to see a little bit tie into that. That was I feel like not throwing in a quick, even just a quick little Illuminati scene was my only small gripe, and the only real gripe I had with the whole film was them calling it 616. That's not the fucking 616. 616.
That I 100% agree. That one really bothered me because
that's not 616, bro.
Well, Feige in the past has said that the MCU is not 616. The comics are 616.
Even
that's
the doctor
why
from
they're
Thor
doing things differently in this because
Christine called it 616 too.
Right, but maybe in 838 they named it 616, but maybe in 2738 or whatever it is to to MCU, that it's not. But I could have swore that in the first Thor movie that the Doctor had a chalkboard.
He did call it 616.
Did it in that film?
I don't know. I don't know about that one, but I know Kevin Feige specifically said the MCU years ago. He said was not 616
because it's completely.
And the Loki show, the Loki show did it too when the little cartoon was explaining about the convergence and the multiverse or whatever. She called Loki's MCU 616, the little cartoon.
Okay, well then
so they've said it.
For all those instances, I hate that. Have the comic.
Yeah, it's not 616.
Exactly.
Bro.
The comics should be 616, and this should be
because then, if that's the case, what it does is it's like alluding to more instances like the stupid Wanda and Pietro retcon where they're not mutants anymore, so that way it can match up with the movie.
Right.
I mean, if the MCU is 616, then that essentially erases the canon of the comics.
Exactly.
And I don't like that.
Well.
Yeah. That was probably a nitpick for like comic geeks like us.
Yeah.
But that was like the biggest, like most egregious thing in this movie for me.
That was the only thing that really bothered me.
Unless
the intention. Why do they keep saying this thing is 616?
But unless the intentions are to not canonize everything, if the intentions are to basically bring everything from the comics in a certain way, if this is what they're trying to do. You know what I mean? Here's the thing is like, you don't call it the 616 unless you demonstrate that it is the 616 by bringing elements in and sticking to the elements, because you can't technically call it the 616 and then have this version of Wanda in it that's completely different from the version that we get in the books.
Exactly. Every single film has been tweaked from the books.
I get that.
Yeah.
And I understand it's not the 616. But I wanted to see where they're going to go with it. I want to see where they're going to go with it because
I don't think they're going to address it. I think it's just that's what they're naming.
So now
they may not. But what I want to see is where they're going to go with the characters. I want to see the Illuminati version of this particular version of it. I want to see how that's going to be
created, correct power scales too.
Yeah, and the thing is though, here's the thing. This is where I disagree, and I have to say that even in the 616, it has been demonstrated that the Illuminati is arrogant as fuck.
Yeah,
they are.
And
they're
Bob Dylan said it really well in the chat earlier. They're not. They're a collection of like the of power and minds. They are not a team like the Avengers, like the X-Men. They do not function, and that was evident in this where they each got beat individually one-on-one because they never at any point worked together.
But then
it was one-on-one.
Reed was giving everything away though, man. Like when they were about to fight. Reed was like, "Oh, and you're the smartest guy in the room, Reed.
Here's the thing,
Black Bolt.
I would have
kill you with a whisper.
I would have liked for the Illuminati to put up a little bit more of a fight, to be a little bit tougher, to last a little bit longer. But at the same time, I disagree when people say that the power scales weren't right and things like that, because here's the issue. Not every version of a character is the same power scale from one universe to the next. Okay. For example, the Wanda of that universe was nowhere near as powerful as the Wanda from the MCU, right? So in some universes, a character is going to be really strong.
No, but they said
in
that
another
her power
universe,
scale was
and then
the same for every universe.
No. The power scales are not the same in every universe.
For Wanda, it is.
No, they're not.
No.
They absolutely are.
Because the thing is, if the power scale was the same for every universe, then she had no reason to possess the version that she saw.
I thought that they said that she was the same in every universe.
They never said that the power scales are the same.
Not the power scale.
Because you couldn't have.
They
those
said
two
strange,
completely different.
Strange. The version of Strange is the same in every his decision making. His
arrogance, his personality was the same.
Well, because they all have the same story with him losing his sister in the ice.
And Wanda might have
really
that power,
in the comics, but
it might be untapped. She might not know she could do all that shit. Kind of like Loki. Loki's power scales were all over the place, but the Loki that we see, with Hiddleston, he just doesn't know he could do the shit that fucking OG Loki was doing. That's why at the end he's like, maybe we're more powerful than we realize. So it's the same thing with Wanda. She doesn't know.
Oh yeah, because the Wanda's
Lazy
are
Venus says
dormant,
it right.
though.
Comics is comics, films is films. 616 is the main continuity that we, the viewers, follow. Comics and movies do not converge with each other. Comics is comics, films is films.
I disagree with that though, because I think the animated universe of What If
is 616
is part of the MCU, and they even said it. Well, no, it's not 616 because it's What If. It's
not about the comics. It's
universe.
616.
It's within the multiverse. Yeah, but the animated, because Kevin Feige even said it is canon. It's within the same multiverse. So I think
this is why
you can have film and TV,
but by that logic,
have film and TV as part of the
What If
multiverse.
The What If series.
You can have animated as part of the multiverse. You can have the comics as part of the same multiverse.
By that logic, 838 would also be 616. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's
right.
No, because it's another universe that they visited within the multiverse. They're all within the multiverse. So you can see different universes in the same property, in the same film, and it's still separate universes within the larger multiverse. So that's why I think you can have the different mediums, especially since early on Kevin Feige said, this is not 616 because we're adapting things so people don't know exactly what we're going to do every time we put out a new TV show or a film.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, that's like our own nerdy nitpicking. But the bottom line is and Lael and I have talked about this, is that I would have liked a little bit more, just because I wanted to see it, a little bit more of a fight put up by the Illuminati, but them being disjointed, one, makes sense. And two, just because those versions of those characters were beat in those ways does not mean that those characters in the 616 now, whatever, in our MCU, in our universe, would have reacted to Wanda the same way or would have been defeated by Wanda the same way. They'll put up a different level of fight from one universe to the next. So
yeah, because Reed
me. Put up no fight. Reed could be much stronger in our universe.
If we put together if 616, if MCU puts together an Illuminati and Wanda shows up, Black Bolt's just screaming on sight.
Yeah. I've never seen Reed not be that smart.
Where they failed, to me, is where they failed is when they were basically trying. They were more involved with proving Strange wrong, and that's when they failed.
They were so
worried about proving him wrong and making sure that he understood that there was a level of control that they had on that version of the universe, and that's why they basically failed.
Crazy.
And because of that, they got wiped completely out. So
it's not crazy.
No, but
it points to how powerful their Strange must have gotten when he daywalked.
Oh well, he was also in the Darkhold heavy too. They're Strange.
Right. And so but think about it. They got to see their Strange at a power scale that Wanda is, that they didn't realize. So how scared they were of Strange is how scared they should have been of Wanda, but they didn't realize what they had just seen was their Doctor Strange corrupted by the Darkhold, like
the
Wanda
Darkhold,
is.
But so they never had to actually face head on that power level, because Strange realized he was corrupted and he let them kill him, right? He didn't fight them. Yeah. They didn't have to go up to him and be like, oh shit, this is how strong he is. Yeah. So they still didn't have a measure of how strong Wanda really was, because they hadn't actually had, so they still were like, oh, we'll be able to handle it. Like there's six of us. Whatever.
If Strange had not, conceded, who knows? There might have not have been an Illuminati
in that. But see, did you guys notice too that on the gauntlet, on Thanos, the dead Thanos, he didn't even have all the stones either.
Yep.
He only had 2, I think. He only had the Power Stone, and
that's also a good way. But that
the Mind Stone, I think,
is a good way to further sell how powerful Scarlet Witch was, because that universe, they had Strange and the Illuminati beat Thanos. They didn't need to. They didn't need to travel back in time. They didn't lose and then have to figure out a way 5 years later.
Yeah, they beat Thanos first time.
They whooped Thanos. They didn't. They were able to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they were able to just wipe the floor with Thanos without having to do all the run through everything that our universe did. So when Wanda comes and then fucks them up, that further sells how powerful she got. And
You know what
that
else
was
No.
a major threat.
Let me
You know what
ask
else
you
it
something.
sells?
Too.
What else it sells is the paradox that people are using to say that Strange's only one way to win thing was debunked by Strange being able to beat him. However, look what happened when Strange beat him the way that he beat him. It opened up a doorway for their future to be even more fucked by an incursion.
Right.
Yeah,
and
true.
Millions of people died by
True.
Strange beating him with the Darkhold that I'm sure
The
he's seen
Darkhold.
as a possible future.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that
But
oh,
the other
see,
thing
told you
were-
there was other ways that you could have beat Thanos. Yeah, but trillions of people died in that version versus half the population dying but getting to come back. So
And
I
then, yeah,
love that they
yeah.
The
I
other
love
thing
that they
is, though,
still
he
played on
said-
that there was only one way that they could have beat him.
I didn't look at it like that.
Strange
You're
said
right.
he looked at all those different timelines, though. They were
Right.
still timelines within that universe.
Right.
He wasn't going to other universes. So
He
yeah,
was
it's-
dreamwalking to other universes, though, right?
No.
That's why they were mad
No,
at
not
him.
our Strange. Not our Strange. The other.
No, I'm talking about
Strange.
their Strange. Their
Their
Strange.
Strange was dreamwalking to
Yeah.
other universes. Yeah.
That's why they were pissed off at him because he was trying to
Well,
find
that
ways to
was
beat.
part of what he was doing with the Darkhold that
With the
corrupted
Darkhold.
him. Yeah.
Because using the
Yeah.
Darkhold to daywalk was causing incursions by paradoxes, so it was killing
Yeah.
off the worlds that he was visiting if he was fucking shit up while he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lael, you said this was in your top 3, right?
Top 5.
Top 5. Okay. So for me, this doesn't crack my top 10 in the MCU. And but here's the thing. The MCU is so fucking good that it's got to be next level shit to be in that top 10. So the fact that you're not in the top 10 does not mean that it's not good. And while I think there are some holes in this movie, I think there are some things that don't work for me. And I am not a Sam Raimi fan.
But
I
he
enjoyed
killed
the
it,
hell
though.
out of this. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie.
The horror aspects, he killed it.
This is not, and I accidentally saw it in 3D. I didn't mean to. I bought IMAX tickets. Nothing said IMAX. Nothing said 3D. So I was in there, and they gave us glasses. I'm like, what the hell? They must have messed up. And then the Avatar trailer comes on, and so everybody puts the glasses on because it's in 3D. And the Avatar trailer, that 3D was mind-blowing. That shit was epic. But so saw that, and I was like, okay. And everybody else in the theater, like I heard several people be like, wow, they gave us glasses for a trailer and then put them away. And then the movie came on and it was in 3D. And we're like, oh, shit. So I watched it in 3D. I'm glad I got to see it in 3D. My next viewing, I'll go and just see it standard. But it was interesting. It worked fairly well. Again, not a Sam Raimi guy. Okay. But I think that what he did with this movie, I think was really good. Yeah. I think he did a good job they let him be Sam Raimi. They let him do a lot of the horror type stuff that he likes. And in this case, I think it worked well and I think he's more suited to direct Doctor Strange, in my opinion, than Spider-Man. Yeah. Because there are a lot of horror elements intrinsic in Doctor Strange. And I think it's much more in Sam Raimi's wheelhouse. And again, I personally think that, most of what he did with Spider-Man sucked. But that's me. But this was an enjoyable movie that even despite some big flaws that I saw in it, I still really enjoyed this film. I think that there were some really good misdirects. Again, they made it seem like this version of Strange was going to be the villain of this. They even had that one part that was cut out, that was in the trailer, but was cut out of the film, where he's like, this is about to get out of hand, right? Or things are about to get out of hand. When he was very menacing. That was cut out of the movie. The other part too, when Wong and Wanda are about to fight those Goliath, like Gollum kind of things that come to life up at the top of that mountain. That them side by side about to fight together was in the trailer. So it made it look like Wanda was on the good side, And then they flip the script where you find out, well, yeah, no, that movie was in it, but we didn't know the context, and it turns out she was still the bad guy the whole time.
The bad guy.
I thought it was the misdirect was really good there. So there was a lot that I like. I think one of the biggest things that drove me nuts was the lack of Vision coming into this, because not because I wanted a cameo, but because I think he's critical to her journey and to her story.
Yes.
And to me, it's like, why wasn't she trying to find a universe where she could have Vision and the kids? Why was she only going for the kids?
Exactly.
Because in my mind, she's going to go. One of the biggest sources of agony in her whole existence in the MCU was watching killing Vision, watching him come back, and then watching him die,
right?
And then losing him in WandaVision. So why wouldn't she try and get him and the kids back?
Right.
So that was a plot hole for me. That being said, I think Sam Raimi did an admirable job with this. It is not in my top 10, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. And it's just because that top 10 is so elite, is so hard to crack.
Yeah.
And I never thought Sam Raimi would get anywhere near it, but he got damn close.
Yeah.
It's an enjoyable movie, some flaws, but nothing that made me sour on the film experience itself. I'm going to go see it again. And I am still not a convert as a Sam Raimi fan, but I think he did a really good job here. I enjoyed it. I personally, I know some people hated the post-credit scenes. I saw it at 3:00. Lael was going to see it at 7. I'm texting him. I'm like, you have to stay for the second post-credit scene. You cannot miss it.
Second one was,
you have to fucking,
that was
just
corny.
because I wanted to get the text from him. Motherfucker, what was wrong with you? You made me wait for him to say that's over.
Yeah.
Because they Captain America'd us
that
at
was
the end
not
of
needed.
Homecoming, where Cap is there. You stayed till the end. I know it's not that, I thought that was funny. But the first post-credit scene, I will say,
Clea.
I understand the vast majority of people seeing this film do not know who Clea is. Okay, the vast majority do not know who Clea is. But Charlize Theron, people know her. I was excited to see her. And I will say, and Lael still has to finish reading The Death of Doctor Strange, and then what comes after that, and then Clea is involved in there, so you'll see that stuff. But that's why I think if they do bring more, if Charlize Theron actually ends up being more of a presence as Clea,
she will.
I understand a lot of people are confused because they don't understand what's going on there. But Charlize is a great actress to play that role. For those of you who don't know, Clea is actually the niece of Dormammu, the villain from the first Doctor Strange movie. She goes on to. She is like a student of Doctor Strange at one point. She
marries him.
She marries him, and she is also the Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension.
Yep.
And then she has a big role to play in the Death of Doctor Strange and what comes after that, which I won't spoil because Lael's still fucking lagging and hasn't read it yet. But
my bad.
But we will see. So I really do like the fact that she's going to be more of a presence in the MCU. Again, I know it's confusing for some people who aren't that up on the character and what's going on, but she's cool as shit. So there's some cool stuff.
Yeah, Clea is dope. Man, don't even throw that. Man.
I thought it was phenomenal. I thought the pacing and everything was amazing. Yeah, I think the actress who played America was incredible. That pizza scene was just insane. I loved everything with that she did. I love that so much was put riding on her, because if she had dropped the ball, it would have really hurt this film, but she was the heart of the film. And I think that there was so much great subtle dark comedy, which is obviously Raimi's gonna Raimi, and Raimi throughout this whole damn film. He Raimi hard all through this. It's definitely not many. I think one of the things that's amazing about that is not many Marvel films step outside of the Marvel formula. A lot of Marvel films, which we love, still feel the same in tone, and this was definitely different tonally than most Marvel films. It felt like it was done differently, and I think it definitely in a good way. And I like the switch up, and what they should and are kind of going for is different genres within the superhero genre, and having a horror type of film, a Star Wars type of Marvel
horror
film,
type,
Ant-Man is a comedy type of Marvel film. So I like that they're branching out and doing these different things. So this being a somewhat horror type of film was incredible. All the Evil Dead stuff, the zombies, I really loved more than like maybe probably right behind the Illuminati stuff. What was so incredible to me was the fight with Dark Doctor Strange with the musical.
That was my favorite part.
I can't wait to hear that shit at home. That shit was beautiful. It reminded me of Kung Fu Hustle with the chimes and that. It was just so brilliantly done, and it was like it seemed like it was trying to be tongue in cheek and hokey, but it just came off as cool. Like
dude, the X-Men music though. The X-Men music, dude.
And then the Illuminati introduction was absolutely. I yell like, oh my god, Black Bolt.
Now, they had one chair
I stood
open.
up out my damn seat for Reed. I really hope that isn't just fan service and we get more Krasinski in the future. But but I promise myself, even if that's all we ever see Black Bolt or Reed on
at least
Krasinski as Reed, I still will be like, but we got that. Like that was just an incredible
that can't be
moment.
all.
Like but I'm just saying, like for what we got, you can't take that away from me. I got to see Reed as Krasinski as Reed in in a movie on screen.
Sucks.
I got to see
that
Black
has to be superior Iron Man.
Everybody said that.
It was incredible. I love the action.
You're right, Vinny, though.
It started off like I thought they accidentally started the movie halfway through or something. I was like, oh shit, all right, we're
going. Right into the action.
I think it's a long shot that we see Black Bolt.
Kept going and going. I love the story. I loved Wanda's pain. I love the scene where she's basically consoling herself because she understands, and I love the resolution. I felt like besides for the 616 and maybe seeing a little bit more of the Illuminati before the fight, I felt like it was a little too self-contained. I would have liked to see a little bit more branching out of like what may be to come, but I also feel like I'm not worried about that because I know that they have plenty of hands, plenty up their sleeves for what's to come, and I felt like this was really a really special film. And I feel like this will have a lot of replay value, and I can't wait to hear this shit at home.
What about the fourth wall break? That's what got me. Yeah, I'm like with Wanda when she was in the kitchen, and she looked right into the camera. I'm like, whoa, Sam Raimi.
Yeah, but that wasn't a fourth wall break. It wasn't that she was looking into the camera like Deadpool does. It was that
he set it up like that though.
It was that but it was because and remember, part of that was shot for 3D too. But it was they wanted it to be looking like it was like she was looking through the multiverse, basically. It wasn't meant to be like she's like Deadpool kind of interacting with the audience, knows he's in a movie kind of thing. So it was in the vein visually of a fourth wall break, but it wasn't contextually a fourth wall break. But like Vinny, what you said, scene. I think there's less of a chance that we see Black Bolt in the Inhumans because it's gonna be really difficult to roll them out and mutants at the same time.
That sucks, man.
I think that might have been I think this was like, look, the TV side back in the day when I wasn't dealing with this shit, they fucked the Inhumans up. I'm gonna at least give the fans something here, and how he died was epic. Now, but I do think we will see John Krasinski. And again, even if we don't, if that was his one and done, and it was like, look, we just want to give this to the fans.
We got
it. But he mentioned his kids
if they do give him more, if they do, my theory, and I know a lot of other people have been saying the same thing. John Watts was supposed to direct Fantastic Four. I think Kevin Feige went to him, and I've heard a lot of other people say the same thing. I think Kevin Feige went to him and was like, look, we can get John Krasinski as Reed Richards, but
let him direct it,
star and direct.
Let him direct it.
Do us a solid, bow out of Fantastic Four so he can star and direct, and you're going to get a primo directing gig in the future.
If
in the
he
MCU.
does it,
I'm
boy,
cool with
I'll
that
be so
because
happy.
I
with
love
it.
No Way.
That's what's gonna
I love
happen.
No Way Home, but I don't love the other Spider-Man anywhere near as much as I love No Way Home. So it's not like I was married to. Oh, it's got to be Wyatt. If they have Krasinski starring directing this thing, I'll be
That'd be
fucking
dope.
through the roof.
And I think
that'd
that's
be
what's
dope.
going to happen. I think we're going to see John Watts back in the MCU, but it was a voluntary, like, it wasn't like I'm burnt out, I need a break. It was, I'm going to do Kevin Feige a solid, and he's going to return the favor down the road when I get my choice of what I want to direct.
So
Leo,
you think Black Bolt is done, though? You think Black Bolt is done?
I think they're going to see how we feel. I think they're going to see how people react to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the primary thing. They're going to see how people react, what the response is. Which the response has been extremely good, and people
people want this version of Black Bolt. They want this version of Black Bolt.
And here's the thing: is they do now. Look, if you've introduced him in this film, and you give the 616 a version of the Illuminati, you're going to have to introduce him. It's not going to make sense if you don't. So you have to do it. So it's very important that you actually do it, and I love it if they do it. So
you know who I kept thinking about the whole time.
Here's the thing. And I know this is the unpopular opinion amongst a lot of people. I was very happy to see Captain Carter in this film. I was.
Haley Atwell, sexiest woman on the planet, in my opinion. I'm sorry.
I was happy to see it.
She looked phenomenal in this movie.
I'm not going to front like I've been a big supporter of what they did with that, but in context, this film, it made perfect sense.
Yeah,
it made perfect sense.
She was good, but the part when
I
can do this all day, I cringed. I'm like, oh god.
No, I love that line. I don't care. I love that line.
God.
She said, I can do this all day. Fuck no. I absolutely loved that line. I'm so glad that it was in there. It was a great homage. It was a great connecting point.
Listen, I think the biggest thing that people and the thing is, because I heard this on different channels from different individuals, even from reviewers, about this film, but particularly about the Illuminati, about the cameos. It's like, what the fuck? Like, literally, the film was about Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch.
They wanted a cameo movie.
Yep. If the Illuminati would have been in this film any longer than what they were, then the attention, you ruin it, because basically the focus is off of the main narrative, which is those individual characters. You had this, the story was about Strange. It was about Wanda. It was about America Chavez. And I think that they did it perfectly well. Yeah.
No,
you can't
the fight
basically
lasted 2 seconds though, bro. Like, come on, man.
Bro, but
2-second fight.
I understand that, but
a little longer. Jesus Christ.
But you have to understand, bro, you can't have that much. You can't give us too much of a good thing in this particular movie when it's not about them.
It's called a cameo for a reason. It's not a guess.
You know what I mean? It's not really about them. You got to basically give them a movie where it's more. Listen, put it this way, bro. We know where they're headed. We know where it's headed right now. Incursions is going to be a big thing. You will see the Illuminati again. And I have a feeling that you're going to see a much more fleshed out story narrative behind them. It just didn't suit this film for what we got and what we saw. I looked at Vinny looked at me, and I was satisfied. I was like, I'm good. I'm cool.
Geeking the fuck out. And it's one of those things where it'd have been cool to see them go a little bit longer, but it completely in context, it made sense for what we got.
It was for
the same reason why it also made sense that they didn't force in Kang yet. There was already so much going on. That's like, all right, we know.
Nah, Kang didn't need to be there right now. Kang's not gonna be there.
So is going on.
Not
it's
yet,
like, all right, it's I feel like the beauty of what they did was, I feel like they told their story, then they teased it that's to come at the same, in the way that they teased it was to come, it was with a different universe, so that way they could basically do it. They do in some instances in different media where they leak, a character or a rumor or idea, and it's gauge the reaction. So they just got to see how we would feel about Black Bolt, about Fantastic Four, about Professor X in their own shit coming up, and how people would react. And the fact that everybody's like, wait, I want to see more Illuminati, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like, it's not, because I don't count that as a knock against this film. I count this as please realize that we were hype as fuck for that, and we want to see more of that. And of course,
Yeah,
that's what's coming.
That's my point.
You want people saying, I want more Illuminati, not saying there was too much.
But see, I feel like
because it wasn't too much.
I feel like what Jason is saying is, or what I'm saying anyway, I feel like there's people who are saying, I want more of that, but not at the expense of Strange. Like it's sucks.
Right, you want to see
more
in
it.
I'm not
like,
saying give me that much more to ruin the movie.
Not like
make it more of a fight.
Kind of like how I wanted to see more Moon Knight in the show, but not less character study.
Right.
Leo,
right.
I get it. We when people do right by us in the chat, I think they deserve a shout out. So Anakin's twin has said two things. They're very good. One, his most recent one there. It would have been awesome in the post-credit scene if Bruce Campbell had been punching himself with his back to the camera and then he turns around and it's Deadpool. That would have been good. I would have liked that as a fun post-credits cameo kind of thing.
That'd be funny shit.
Earlier, I clocked a comment that he made, which is something that I have heard a number of other people say, and I completely agree with. Nobody's asking this question. Well, actually, there are people, just not a lot, asking this question. Well, in our MCU, right, in WandaVision, those kids were a construct of Wanda. She created them, right? There was no sperm donor. Who the fuck was the father of those kids in those other dimensions if they're real?
Yeah.
Right? That's a good question.
Unless it was a situation where there was a vision in that area or that multiversal version of it, or she created the kids based off of vision, but it was in a way where it was more self-contained, where that particular version of Wanda wasn't over the top. It could have been. You know what I mean? It might have been, but I don't know.
From everything
just like there could have been,
because not one picture in that house had a father.
Vision.
A father.
Yeah. No vision.
It could have been a surrogate type of situation.
I think it had to be Palpatine.
That version of Wanda was at the level where she could have created those kids through magic. She seemed like she was like Civil War Wanda in our universe, not WandaVision Scarlet Witch able to completely create those kids. And you remember, those kids, even in WandaVision, only existed within the sphere of Westview, right? Whereas these kids were not part of this larger illusion. They were real and they were there. So how did those kids come to be is a good question.
Yeah. I don't know. That is a good question, man. But I think that, bro, like I just don't understand. And I guess it's just me. I don't understand what people are.
Man, don't focus on them. Fuck them.
I don't understand what the fuck people have been bitching about, bro. And the thing is, it's like, this is why I would never fucking trust a critic at all. And why you shouldn't trust critics.
I never trust critics.
They will tell you the movie is dope as fuck. They will tell you that the movie is entertaining, that it's dope, because there were a lot of critics that were saying that the motherfucking Venom 2 was dope and it was exciting or whatever, and it was a bag of shit.
It was caca.
That movie was complete garbage.
I don't trust critics for shit. I don't trust what they say. This movie to me was exciting. It gave me everything that I want. And as a comic book fan, people should be excited. Even if it wasn't a perfect film, it gave you just enough of a hint of what's coming and what the MCU is allowed to do now. That's why they were able to give us Black Bolt, the real version of Black Bolt. That's why they were able to give us the version of Captain Marvel that we wanted to see.
Look, I am not a Sam Raimi guy, and I gave it 2 butt cheeks in the seats. So right there.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, literally, come on, man. Critics can eat a fat one, because I'm telling you, this film to me was incredible. And it's just, and the thing is, there's a lot of people that share the same sentiment, but there's a lot of people that might be mixed. And I'm not saying that you have to actually enjoy and say that this is a perfect film, but damn it, it's not a bag of shit. So what? I don't understand what people.
It's really not made by Sony.
It's definitely not made by Sony. Sony didn't touch shit at all. They didn't.
It's a passable film. Like it's not. I
think it's more than passable.
And I'm glad.
It's not bad. I'm glad.
It's not
on Venom. It's not on Venom 2's level.
Yeah,
Nah,
here's
not on
Lael,
the
you
shoot level.
remember?
I'm glad that there wasn't multiple cameos in this shit. They gave us the few that we saw, and that was it. However, there was one major cameo in this film that nobody has been talking about. Nobody's been talking about. When they were going through the multiverse, you saw the judge.
The Living
You saw
Tribunal.
the judge. The living
Yeah.
tribunal was there. The first
Yeah, I
time we
saw
got
that.
an iteration of the living tribunal on screen, that says a lot. Because you have
Where
to
was that? I
understand
missed that. Was that when they were going through?
When they were
universes?
going, when
Yes.
America was taking
the
them through the
living tribunal
multiverses,
was there, bro.
No, I
America
It happened
passed
so
right by
fast.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It was
heard
right
about it
there.
after because I didn't see it in the moment because the
Bro.
thing, and that's one of the downsides about seeing shit in 3D is that
Yeah.
your eye is drawn to the very thing that they want you to absolutely
She's like the
focus on,
fourth one
and you lose
that
the
they passed
periphery a
through.
lot of times. So there's a lot
Yeah.
visually that I didn't get to fully see the first time around that I'm looking forward to seeing in this next time. Because again, that was something that I didn't catch the first time, and I was told after.
But it was
that
a version
there.
of Tribunal where he was like in two. It was in two part. He was in two. Instead, he wasn't not in one body.
You didn't
It was
get a
like
chance to
two
see the
pieces.
body. It was just mainly the
Yeah.
heads that were there.
Just
So you
the
got a
heads.
chance to basically see that.
Damn.
But not
Yeah,
only
two
that,
heads.
so when you go back and
Mhm.
see it, Vinny, watch it and you'll see them. We got a chance to see the Savage Land. We got
Yep.
we got a chance
Yep.
to see Atlantis. We
Yeah.
also got a chance
Spider-Man
to
Noir.
actually see the multiversal version of where the supreme or superior Iron Man is. We got a chance to see
Yeah.
that. It was right
Yeah.
there in plain sight. So that's what I'm saying.
It's
It
the
was so
building
many
with
things.
the
It was done masterfully, and it
Yeah.
was beautiful
Yeah.
that they did it that way.
And
Because
some
we
of
didn't have
some
a
of that
cameo
stuff is
filled
going to
film.
be some of that stuff is going to be fan service Easter eggs for the likes of us. Some of it hints that they will be doing certain things moving forward. Because again, not every Easter egg, not everything that we see is actually going to come to fruition. Some of it is just going to be here's a little
Yeah.
fun thing for you guys to see and catch.
Yeah.
But we can't because they can't do everything, right? They just can't. But
Tour
what-
did mention Living
when we
Tribunal
had
earlier.
that conversation on the stream on Sunday, yesterday, with Ben and Shane, one of the things that I said, and I still hold true to this, is like, look, again, I'm not a big Raimi guy. I'm not a Raimi guy at all. But I went into this movie still hoping that we get something good. I do believe that he delivered on it. I enjoyed it, but ultimately, people like guys like us, we read like practically every book we can get our hands on, right? But there are people who only read X-Men, or there are people who only read maybe Avengers and Spider-Man, right? There are people who it's like, yeah, I never fucked with Doctor Strange. It's just a different vibe, and it's just not my style. And so, same thing. You have to look at the MCU and all these films and all these TV shows the same way you look at comic books in general. Whereas, you know, some people, Doctor Strange is not for them. Some people, Spider-Man is not for them. All right. And so not every property, not every TV show, not every film has to be a home run for you to enjoy the MCU. And sometimes it's like, there are going to be people out there who didn't like Doctor Strange, whether it was because of Sam Raimi or just the character is not something they vibe with. That's okay. But you can't get into this mentality where one thing is going to like put you off of like everything else that's going to be done in the MCU, in the films and television that we've got coming, because that's why, look, we all have pull lists, right? Of like, this is every week. This is my shit right here. This is what I'm getting. This is, you know, and then you go back and you find out, oh, there was this thing that came out that it wasn't even on my radar. And that's actually damn good. Right.
Yeah.
You got to look at the MCU the same way as like pull lists, where like some of it you're 100% on board with, some of it not so much, some of it not at all. And it's okay to have that. But we got to get out of this. Like, we're expecting a home run on every single thing, because every so often, you're going to have one of those that is not a home run for a lot of people. You're going to have, an Iron Man 3. You're going to have an Eternals. You're going to have a Black Widow. Like that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I don't think this was one of them, though. I think this was a very well done
the
movie.
biggest problem is when you, as a critic, and this is what I'm saying, as a critic, it is your job to, when you see a film, you have to also, as a critic, and if you call yourself a critic, It is your job to look at the film and say, okay, cool. I know this film is coming, but I also know that there's source material. Maybe I should study this shit before I go into this film. So then, even if I don't like it, I can appreciate what they were trying to do and I can understand the steps that they made. If you don't do that and you call yourself a critic, you are doing your own self a disservice, because then you're going to have a whole bunch of us looking at you like, well, you didn't even read the fucking books. You don't have to, but you didn't even skim over the shit to understand what the attempts were and where they got certain things from, just because it didn't reach your standard of a Martin Scorsese type of narrative. That's bullshit to me. And I hear it. And that's the thing is, if one critic says it, then the next critic says it, and then the next critic, I'm like, y'all motherfuckers, you are the biggest, you critics out there, you're the biggest trolls of the industry to me. That's just me. That's me. Because the thing is, you'll tell us that a fucking film is great, and we go see this shit and it's terrible. But then you'll say a movie that is, you'll call a movie trash, that's brilliant. Now, sometimes you get certain things right. Sometimes.
You can tell when you read a review if when you listen to how they talk about a property in a movie, you can tell if they know jack shit or not about those characters and those comics. And right there, it's like, because I'll read reviews just to see what, you know, people are saying about maybe like cinematography, about score, stuff like that. But I never like take it. I always take it at face value.
I gotta
like,
go see that movie, man.
They don't really know.
Everybody is saying
about.
this fucking movie is great, and
I gotta go see this.
I know.
Man.
I have to go. I love Michelle Yeoh.
This in the theater still. This in the theater.
Yeah, I need to go see this, bro. I need to see this,
I definitely do want to see it. But yeah, reviewers, it's like, I mean, and especially people in the chat, like after you watching us talk about this stuff week in and week out, you should, like, you can go in and you can tell when you're reading something. If, well, this is just the guy that they have to review movies at this website or this paper or something, but he doesn't know what the fuck. He's never read a Doctor Strange comic book a day in his life. He doesn't know fucking Mary Jane from Gwen Stacy. Like,
I can hear Mark saying this. I can really hear Mark in my head saying this right now.
Yep.
I can hear Mark. I can really hear Mark, bro. You know what? I'm gonna tell you like this. Every multiverse needs a Mark 7. Like every multiverse, every person out there needs a version of Mark 7.
Tell me he owns a Mark 7 hot toy. Tell me he owns a Mark 7 hot toy.
He loves the 7 line.
Yeah.
You know, there's a multiverse Mark where he's like animated like Busta Rhymes too.
I know. Everybody needs. I think the MCU has a version of Mark 7.
He's out there.
He's out there, bro. Like he's there.
Leo, I will say one thing that really surprised me. I'm curious if it surprised you guys too. Well, maybe not Vinny, because he wasn't watching the trailers. But even given the title, I feel like, and the expectations we had going in,
it was gonna be crazy.
No. And this isn't a knock on the film. I'm not saying, because I still think they told the relatively self-contained story that they were trying to tell. So I think that was successful. I was not disappointed, but I was a little surprised at the lack of, I guess, consequence, or as far as like, it's the multiverse of madness. And we did spend most of the time in other universes besides what I guess we're now calling the 616. But I thought there was going to be more ramifications in terms of, now this is what's happening with the multiverse. And you know what I mean? Like, I thought that there was going to be more to that, as far as this is how the multiverse is going to be played out in the MCU moving forward, where we still don't really know.
That's what I meant by
that we have is like
that's
the
what I
only
meant
thing
by
that we know is that there are incursions.
Now what? Yeah.
Right. So the incursions are a thing, and Charlize Theron coming in as Clea and saying, so we know that incursions are a thing, which it would be cool if that was the case. And then we're getting like the 616 and the ultimate, you know, and that's when, you know, they come together, and then you get Miles and things like that coming in. Now, is an incursion and worlds coming together how we get the X-Men and mutants? Because again, now that's the other thing is we were all, you know, they've been teasing this for so fucking long. It's like, oh, they're doing like kind of reverse House of M on WandaVision, and that's how we're gonna get the mutants. Oh, and then the Eternals. Okay, the Celestial dying in inside the Earth. That's how it's gonna leak out. We're gonna get then, but that didn't happen. Then it's like, well, maybe when the fabric of realities and universes tear in No Way Home, that's gonna didn't happen there. Okay, now we're in Multiverse of Madness, and Wanda is there. Okay, and it's about the kids, which tie into it. It's got to be, and then we get Professor X, but no other, not even literally the word mutant, and no introduction of any of it into the MCU. Right. So it's like, where the fuck are the mutants going to come into play? Is it going to be an incursion kind of thing? Yeah. And it raised so many questions. I was like, I thought there would be more answers as far as how the multiverse is going to play out moving forward. And instead, we're still left wondering. So I was a little surprised at that.
Yeah, I feel like
would have been real, man. That would have been crazy. If they would have put that in there, that would have been crazy too. But I'd have loved that.
That would have been cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the stage was set for them to have those repercussions from the film bleed out into the MCU as far as mutants or whatever, but I feel like they must have something fucking, either they're still figuring it out or there's
something massive
or something massive, because I gotta imagine that Feige didn't wait till the Fox deal was like ink was dry to start thinking about what the fuck they were gonna do. So I'm sure this is all shit that they were already planning to do anyway, and I feel like we're just now getting into coming up on now the part of their phase thought process that would have involved the mutants or Fantastic Four. So I feel like we've only had 4 T's as part of phase 4 at the end. So I don't think that they plan to fuck with the X-Men until after they've introduced the Fantastic Four, which works for me because that's what I really want to see. But I feel like if them not being teased in this means it's because it's for a reason, I don't give a shit. As long as when they do it right, I'm fucking good.
It's crazy.
I love that it teased so many things from X-Men to mutants to Inhumans to all these things that they showed us. Like, don't worry, we fucking got you. It's good. And I also love that there's some fucking subtle things that they teased that we might see future repercussions of. Like the daywalking for the multiverse is not the daywalking, but the dreaming part of the multiverse, where what is your dreams are encompassing are other versions of yourself in different reality and universes is such a mind blown thing, because there's huge ramifications for that. And all I've been able to think about is how differently that they could play that out in the future, because Darkhold or not, that still might have ramifications. Shit, we might get Sleepwalker out of that. I would love to see that. I would love to see Sleepwalker being introduced.
And that's the crazy thing about it, is that we thought that, okay, when we get through Loki with the timelines and everything, No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness, we're gonna have a pretty clear roadmap for this phase of the MCU. And we realize after all those, we have more questions.
We don't know shit.
We have more questions now than we've ever had. We don't know how time travel is going to fold into this and what that's going to do with Kang. We don't know where the multiverse is going in terms of the incursions. We don't know where the Fantastic Four or X-Men are coming in and how. We don't know so many different aspects. We got a great Moon Knight show, but we don't know what's going to happen with Moon Knight and where we're going to see him after this. We don't know how Daredevil and Kingpin are going to factor. There's so many questions that we just don't have answers to.
$2 super chat from Mark 7. Told my nephew I'm the Spider-Man of 717. Stupid.
For those that don't know,
I bet you he believed it.
For those that don't know, that's our area code. So
717 is our area code.
Mark 7, Mark 717. Jeez, fucking Mark.
Yeah.
God. I don't know. Yeah, man. My head.
Yeah,
is
I
spinning
thought we would have
with
had a better
possibilities.
by the time we came out of the other side of Multiverse of Madness. I felt like we would have had a lot of questions, but a lot of answers at the same time. And I feel like they're just every time you think you know the answers, they change the questions.
It's that old saying is like, you don't know how much you don't know.
Yeah.
And right now we don't know shit. Like
Nah.
we have decades of comic book reading and understanding and knowledge.
Yep.
But fuck, man, Kevin Feige is just keeping us on our toes, and we still don't know what the hell is going on.
We'll
Now,
know nothing until X-Men
this type
2097
of film
drops.
that
I
we
agree.
felt this is the type of film we felt like would have answered a lot of those questions more so than the likelihood that, say, Thor would. So
I'm telling you, I'm going into Thor with a different mindset now after this movie. Whereas I've always been excited for it and going into it looking to enjoy a good Thor story and a good Thor movie. I'm not expecting some like larger answer to what's going on in the MCU now, and that's kind of liberating, to be honest, because you're just going in looking for a good fucking movie, a good story. And if there's something massive revealed, awesome. If there isn't, I just want a good movie. And I think we've gotten so spoiled with like, oh, this is going to have such massive ramifications, or this is going to have XYZ cameos and stuff like that. And it's like, no, I've seen Jane Foster as Thor. I've seen some really good shit in the trailers and the promo materials that I like. I'm excited for Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. That's all I need. If they give us something beyond that, awesome. But I'm not expecting it, and I feel like that's liberating going in with that perspective.
I think I got this theory, and I think that Vinny found the this era that our multiverse version of Professor X was like, yo, I just need people, bro. Can you just make people not watch trailers? Can you do something that's gonna fuck people up? I mean, can you just do that for me real quick? You know what I mean?
Because you know what I did? After the film, I went back and watched, and I'm like, yeah, this would have fucked me all up. I would have been sure it was Supreme Strange.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd have been sure. And I'm so glad I just went into it with like clean slate, and everything I heard was just, like rumors and some shit here and there. But it's clearly like, the funny shit is people always say, oh, the trailers don't show much. Man, even the first teaser trailer showed you so many things to speculate on, to assume tonally, visually, story-wise. There's so much to take from them, and then they gave you 3 more after that. It's like
I will say
your mind
that
is so clouded with shit from the trailers that it's like hard. It's hard not to go into it with preconceived conceptions of what you plan to get. It's like it's hard to go into it with an open mind because you're already thinking, all right, here, this is coming, this is when they do that, oh, this is going to be when they do that. It's
I will say there was one missed opportunity that I think they got caught with the bat on their shoulder on this one. And yes, this would have been complete fan service, but I think this would have been a good kind of fan service. Okay,
I agree, Mike. I agree the whole way through, bro.
I think this was a missed opportunity to have Hugh Jackman do a cameo in the MCU proper as Logan, as Wolverine. Have him in there, like at some point, like he comes in to protect Professor X or whatever. You can still have Wanda kill him, or essentially not really kill him, but kind of, what would kill somebody else doesn't kill him, but like, have the skin flayed off of his body, and it's just his adamantium skeleton lying there as he's like regenerating, but he doesn't regenerate in time to like kill her or anything. But we all just want to see Hugh Jackman get to be in the MCU, for him as much as us, because he's wanted it for the longest time. And obviously he's getting on in age. This would have been a cool opportunity, not for them to do something big with him down the road, but as just a fan service and a tribute to him, give him a scene in the MCU proper just once. And so that is one where, I'm not trying to be hung up on cameos and saying, oh, you should have done this, you should, but that would have been one I would have liked to see, just to say we got Hugh Jackman's Logan in the MCU. That was my missed opportunity of the film, I think.
You know what? And I guess I'm just slightly over Hugh Jackman slightly over it.
Oh yeah, I don't want him in the role
I'm
anymore.
too.
I just think that he earned a chance to get at least
To have a
one
cameo?
scene in the MCU. That's all. Like
Yeah,
I don't want him to come back
because
to
he
the
did
role
say he wanted to
multiple
actually
times.
have. He said he did want to be in an Avenger film. He did actually say that. I
Back
remember
when
that.
they were making Logan, before they made
Yeah.
Logan, he still
I did. He
wanted
said he
to
wanted
do
to
it.
have a chance to do that.
And I just wanted him to get that opportunity, not to return to the character for multiple movies
because
or even a full movie. Just
they
one
gave
scene
Xavier
here.
a chance. So to
Yeah.
bring him in with Xavier
Yes.
would have made. So I get what you're saying there, but I don't know. Anyway,
in like the brown and yellow suit.
So what was your rating, Brendan?
I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
That's a solid. That's solid.
I'd give
That's
it an
solid.
8 out of 10. And again,
That's solid.
Sam Raimi is not my jam.
Oh, you're not a Sam Raimi fan.
I give it an 8 out of 10 because even though I think that there were some big flaws with it,
yeah,
I think overall they didn't ruin my experience with it as much
Not
as
at
like I
all.
can dissect those flaws right now. In the moment, I enjoyed my theater going experience. I thought it was. I thought Sam Raimi got to make the movie that he wanted to make, and he made it fit into a larger framework while being totally different than anything else in that framework. And I think that's there's a level of talent there. And I've never said Sam Raimi is not talented. He just doesn't make stuff for me. But undeniably, for him to be able to make this film that was not anything like we've seen in the MCU, but also was still very true to the Doctor Strange character and true to Wanda's character. I think it was an enjoyable film. It's one that I'll definitely go back to the theater to see, one that I'll watch at home when it's out, and I think they did a good job. I loved, the cameos that were in there, seeing Patrick Stewart in there, seeing Anson Mount, seeing, Krasinski and I swear to God, like Haley Atwell, sexiest woman alive to me. And as Captain Carter, oh my God, I went 6 to midnight, not going to lie. Damn. But yeah, absolutely amazing in that. And yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Vinny, imagine how many Captain Carters we're going to. No, as a matter of fact, Brendan, imagine how many Captain Carters you're going to see at Boston Con, bro. Imagine that, bro.
Well, your ass better be coming up, so you should be seeing it too.
I'm gonna try. I'm definitely going to try it, man.
You're not going to try. There is no try.
This
do it. There is no try.
Whoop my ass. And put it this way: if I come up, if you can find me a cheap ass hotel, I'm there, bro. I'm literally there.
It's called Casa Riley.
Fucking hotels, man.
It's called My House.
Got you.
Fucking stay here.
Got you.
But dude, I'm telling you, hey, come on, you gotta come so you can take it. You can get a photo with Fennec Shand, man. You got
There's gonna be a lot of butt naked around. I mean, that's a few days of dodging some
butt ass naked people, bro. I know.
That's a Comic-Con. Yeah, you talking about the Comic-Con?
Fan Expo Boston.
Could you imagine this? He'll just come to the room door and be like, "Hey, coffee? Anyone? Coffee?"
we don't drink coffee in my house. No coffee. I don't drink coffee. My wife doesn't either. My wife drinks tea.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, I mean, you gotta come up. You gotta get photo with Ming-Na Wen. Come on, Carl Weathers, right?
Yeah,
fucking Apollo Creed, man. Come on,
Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
So. Yes, yeah. It's definitely you gotta come check it out. But yeah, Captain Carter. Also, Hot Toys, do the right thing. I'm getting the animated What If Captain Carter. I want a proper live action Haley Atwell
Captain Carter.
Captain Carter.
That'd be dope.
Give it to me. Give it to me now, or Wayne Brady's gonna choke a bitch. Okay.
Is the animated one? Does it have the rocket pack to it?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
No, but it doesn't. But she definitely had like a fucking Mandalorian style jetpack.
Yeah, she had one on,
which was because
that's a little weird.
That caught me a little.
It was
that's not in the
but
comic either that she has right now. That's not in the comic, so I was a little confused by that. But hey,
they're like,
whatever.
They're like, fuck it, just give her a jetpack.
Now, see, Bob Dylan, you took it a step too far.
Booty
You took
sweat.
it a step too far.
Booty sweat.
We walked right up to the line, and you Charlie Murphy'd it. You a fucking habitual line stepper, okay?
He definitely
Habitual
did.
line stepper.
Yo, it's crazy. John, what is your rating for this movie? What rating did you give it?
8.5.
Okay, solid. That's solid. That's definitely a solid. That's dope. That's dope.
That's
Vinny,
coming
what you
from me.
give it?
I gave it an 8.5, but I feel like my 8.5 is more than I love it more than Jedi Kids. 8.5 is that it was passable. So we have different versions of scales because to me, to get to like a 10 is almost impossible. So like a lot of the top tier, the Civil Wars, Black Panthers, Infinity Wars, like that's 9.5 to 10 range. But if you get
8.5 is still good.
Yes, 8.5 is dope.
8.5 is just chef's kiss.
8.5.
I'm not excited.
You know what? Here's the thing. Here's the
8.5 is
thing.
good.
I can't. All right. Let me change this up a little bit. So, not every. Okay, there were flaws in Infinity War. There were flaws in Endgame. There were flaws, basically, even Captain.
Flaws in every movie.
In every
Marvel
fucking
movie
film, like it's to be expected, man. But damn, like people were giving it. I don't know. Anyway, I can care less about it. Enjoyable discussion. I enjoyed it tonight. Everybody out in the chat, thank you for basically being here. If you haven't seen the film, if you have seen the film, then obviously you're here for a reason. You loved it. If you loved it and you hate it, we just had an interesting discussion. It was great. I'm glad everybody was on board. I'm definitely, I might go down and see it again, by myself so I can kind of just dissect everything. But Toya's not gonna let me because she loves Strange. So she will probably be there with me because she dissects everything from a more intellectual standpoint when it comes to emotions and how these characters deal with it. So she dives deep when it comes to like the sort of like symbiotic relationship between all these characters. So she loves that. But
I'm surprised we didn't have her on for this conversation.
Oh, she was all through the chat.
I know she, but I'm surprised we didn't have her on the panel for the
Yeah. So,
she probably
I'm definitely excited about it, man. What'd you say?
She'd have probably cussed me out at some point.
No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't cut you out, bro. No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't cut you out, man. But anyway, Brendan, tell me what you got going on. What you got coming up, bro?
Let's see. What do we got? Actually, this is kind of a relaxed week for me, so I'm gonna be able to, catch up on some video games, catch up on some comic books, just kind of keep it chill. I do have, so I've got a couple videos that I'll be wrapping up tomorrow. Contributions to the Lael's YouTube channel. So you're gonna have one on Bodega Suit Miles that arrived today. That's a very good figure. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. Also have I'll have tomorrow. I'll send him over a video on this Spider-Man book that I got here that is friggin' massive and phenomenal, and I love it. I gotta move stuff around because I also have this that I've got to find space on my wall for, but this is the HD aluminum Miles print. So this thing is badass. So I gotta put that up. So it's been a heavy Spider-Man this last week. Figure and the print and the book, and it's been a lot of Spidey. But so some video content coming to the 1/4 scale man channel. And that's about it, man. Just looking forward to Wednesday's comic books and looking forward to Lael finally reading The Death of Doctor Strange.
I'm gonna read that. So I'm gonna start it tonight since I got time.
I heard that before. So I'll believe it when I see it.
Trying to get off the damn
show. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, I got the. So what I did was I got the complete series, so I can just read.
Yeah, that's a good.
I didn't have. I got the complete just in one book in March, so it's good to go. So I'm ready to do it.
yeah,
Jedi
I have to
Pimp,
grab
man.
that too.
What you got coming up, bro?
I just got this, and I had to replace the old one. I had this Max Nut of Can you see? Oh, wait.
What is that?
Killmonger. The
Oh,
Killmonger.
nice.
Oh, yeah,
But
the
I had one and I sold it, but now I got the body for it to do the custom.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So that one
Oh,
came in
sweet.
today.
Okay.
So I'm probably start this week, and that's it, man. Books and work. I found some old school GI Joe books, man, at Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm a bust these open this week.
Actually, you
Old
know
school.
what? I got that free the crossover event with the Avengers, the X-Men,
And the X-Men.
Eternals.
Yeah,
So I got to read that.
I
Oh,
picked
Just
that
for
one
real?
up too.
a
Yeah, I
prelude,
picked that one
yeah.
up too. Man, Free Comic Book Day was expensive for me this year. God damn.
Listen, man, $200. That's a nice book, though, bro.
I know. Yeah, I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, I got killed comic book. I bought because $200. Vinny, I spent $200, bro.
Oh, Free Comic Book Day.
Vinny, you know what he did after he spent the $200? He FaceTimes me with Toya behind him, and he FaceTimes me blaming me for the money he spent on comic books.
I couldn't call Vinny because he was at work.
No, he could. And then he was mad at me about New York Comic Con tickets. I'm like, motherfucker,
Yeah.
like that.
So
You knew that shit was
he
coming.
blamed me, but the truth was that he hadn't gone and picked up his pull list. He hadn't picked up his stuff from his box for a while, so it got full and he got back.
That's where he messed up.
Right,
That's
and
where
I
he
told,
messed
but
up.
see, and I told him it wasn't my fault. I was like, he's the one who didn't go and get his books for a couple
Bro,
of
my
weeks.
shit was so
And
backed
what did
up.
Listen, with my
Yeah.
box,
And I said it.
I
And
don't
I
play
said it
because
on the
my boy would
stream.
charge
And
me
I
the
said it
full
on the
price.
stream yesterday. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you again. It was your fault, and procrastination is like masturbation. You're only screwing yourself. Okay.
You heard what he said.
I try not to. Vinny, what you got going on, man?
Well, this week I'm gonna be busting my ass catching up at work. I just checked out. I finally got to check out No Way Home in 4K. Got to see that at home and hear it properly. It's fucking insane. It's so damn good. It's definitely one of the greatest comic movies ever made. It's really incredible. I'm working on a strange piece. Hopefully, I'll have it done within the next couple weeks or so. But I'm only able to chip away at it because I've been so busy with my main job. And I got in some new canvas prints of the Super Shack. So I got a couple people already grabbing those. So I got to order some more. So that's a good problem to have. And I am also wanting to take this time to say rest in peace and shout out to the legend, the icon, George Perez.
Perez,
We lost another legend this week.
We lost a couple recently. It's been rough.
Crazy, man.
We just lost Neil Adams, and then
Neil
now
Adams,
we lost George Perez.
Last week.
And if you don't know the impact that George Perez has made, I mean, he helped create Nightwing, Cyborg, Deathstroke. I mean, he was the artist on Crisis on Infinite Earths, Justice League America versus the Avengers.
I mean, he
rebooted
Perfect. Wonder Woman.
I mean, Wonder Woman reboot. I mean, you name it. This man has had his hands in so many different areas of the business and creativity. And we talk about organic diversity. Nothing he ever did to kind of like bring representation was ever seen force. It was always he was trying, and he was doing it back in the 80s when it was hard to get put through. And this man has created so many amazing characters. His new Teen Titans run was phenomenal. The Judas Priest storyline is literally a literary classic, above and beyond just comic books, just in general. And from what I never personally met him, but from everybody I've always heard that who has met him in person, he's always just like didn't love anything more than just meeting fans and talking shop. And it sucks, man. It's another OG legend lost, and I'm you know, just beside myself of how like these legends that I grew up reading, they're getting to the age where this is this type of stuff that we have to start like, you know, worrying about because
Yeah,
it kind of sucks, man. Time wins always. It sucks.
always, man.
Shout out, rest in power, George Perez, man.
Yeah,
He was actually fairly young too. He got sick and it fucking.
I'm about to ask how he looked young, man.
He was.
How
I
old
think
is
he was 67. He was actually super young.
Dude's
'cause he got into
contract
the
is-
Yeah,
business
he was
early.
young, man.
He got. I think it was it pancreatic cancer? I can't
believe it's
remember.
pancreatic
but
Oh
cancer.
my
it was
God,
like
the
it was
cancer,
about like
bro.
6 months ago. He announced that he was going to stop treatment because it wasn't working, and he wanted to. He didn't want to live on like chemo for the last days and stuff.
The
So,
chemo can be
It
so
was about
negative,
6 months
man.
ago he went off, and
Yeah.
then this and then it was kind of radio silence. We didn't really hear from him, and then it was the announcement. So yeah, he was. It happened a quick turnaround after he made that announcement. It was like 4 to 6 months, but
Yeah.
I mean, he was only I think like 67. He was pretty
Rest in
young.
peace.
He
Mr.
was such a
Perez, man.
fan of his fans. His wife announced that I think there's a MegaCon or somewhere where they're at, where they're going to be
They're
having
doing services for him.
services open to the public.
Everybody.
Because
Oh,
he
that's
loved
awesome.
his, you know, he loved dealing with his fans and
I don't know
people.
where it is, but it's MegaCon, wherever that
MegaCon.
is.
Yeah, I think it's Orlando. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but,
I think you're right.
But
No,
yeah,
Medicon's Orlando. Yeah.
yeah,
it's Orlando.
it's a shame, man. Like this dude was like
The fact that they're doing that and making it open to the public
that says a
shows
lot.
like, and I guarantee you that was from him. Like he wanted that.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said that before.
Is there a
he
date
died,
for that?
He
Let me
wanted to
see.
do that.
Yeah, definitely. Rest in peace, George Perez, man. Like you know, icon, definitely. And you know, basically a pillar within the community, within the comic collecting community. So yes, you and among others that we have actually lost. You know what I mean? Long lived, but at the same time, like I said, you gave us the greats. You gave us, you know, some of the most iconic art prints ever, and you'll definitely be missed. Thanks everybody for actually coming along. If you haven't already subscribed to the 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel, do that now. Become a member, and you will actually have a chance to actually win for the Force of May giveaway the quarter scale Mandalorian and Grogu deluxe set, courtesy of my bro Marcos over there, Collector Zone. That is the giveaway that we actually got going on the entire month of May. The winner will be announced on May 30th. Which is basically the last day of Star Wars Celebration. So stay tuned for that. Again, you want to become a member of the 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel as well as subscribe. And then you want to actually go over to Collector Zone Cantina on Facebook. You go in, you become a member, tell them why you like Star Wars, what's your favorite character, and why that character really is, you know, connected. You connect well with that character. So definitely do that, and you'll have a chance to get in and win this piece. You get it for free. I paid $680 for mine, but you get it for free. So come on, man. You don't complain.
That's awesome.
You definitely want to get this piece. It's amazing. It is basically a placeholder for the statue I was going to get. So glad I passed on that and got this piece. So definitely you want to get it. You have a chance to win it. You get it for free. So again, Collector Zone Cantina on Facebook. My bro Marcos. The Force of May giveaway, quarter scale Grogu and Mandalorian deluxe sets. So you want to actually jump on that. Again, thanks everybody for basically being here. It's been a pleasure and honor to have this discussion with my bros. If you haven't seen the movie, go out there and see it. It's an excellent film from a certain point of view. What others may not like it, but it might be good for some. If you're a comic book fan, if you love Doctor Strange, you'll definitely love it. Again, Strange Tales was the very first book I got, and ever since then I've been hooked. So definitely you want to actually do that. So again, everybody out in the chat, thank you for being on board. The Mark Sevens, the One Pouch Man, the single songwriter in the building, the Toe Bars, the Renz Talentino, the Anakin's twin. Let's see who else we got here. My baby, Latoya T, Raleigh reviews. My daughter, my baby girl, Skylar Bias. Thank you for basically being here. Amber. Let's see here. Bob Dylan, of course. Bob Dylan had some good ones tonight. Ashley Chase in the building. My guy Ash, Nerdified. Thank you for being here. Man, so many. Luminar, definitely thank you for basically being here. Who else we got? Malika Mabane, Mike Farasi, thank you for being here. TK592, Yuli second kid, thank you for being here. Let's see who else we got. Max Geekdom, my guy, thank you for being here as always. And a few more. Let's see who else we got in here. I think I actually called up majority of who was actually on here tonight. Anika's twin, of course. Just everybody, man. Thank you all for basically being here. It was a
Tobar
good
was
night.
funny too.
Tobar was funny. Till next week,
Yeah.
we love y'all. We'll have another discussion. We don't know what's actually coming. We might, you know what? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it
We'll
out.
come
But
up with a good one.
We'll come up with
Yeah,
something
yeah,
because we do have to prepare for more shows that are actually coming. We have Miss Marvel coming next, the first Islamic Middle Eastern character or superhero. So I'm so pumped to see that. So yeah, a lot to prepare for. We have Thor: Love and Thunder coming here a few months.
I can't wait for that.
Again, I'm going in there with a dry spell. So yes, I cannot wait for this. Again, thanks everybody for being here and being a part of what we do and what we love, which is collective. Be a geek, be civil. Come on, man. It's that discussion. Let's keep it real. We love y'all. Until the next time, peace out. We love y'all. And again, be real.